I can't stop this feeling coming on. Seismic kind of motion, too strong. AI is evolving, no brakes. Pendulum is shifting, make no mistake. Modern audience MIA, jiggle physics here to stay. Biometric integration, mesmerize a sleepy nation. Genius act right under your nose, flash floods keep you on your toes. Under the sea now you're a crustacean, return to edge, enough sanitation. Payment process, cartel pressure, gaming crackdown for good measure. Western slop defines stagnation, welcome waifu domination. Layoffs looming thanks to queer, more games cancelled, guilty gear. DEI designed to blame, normies can't stop killing games. Hello, beta testers. Dragon Age Game of the Year if you're gay enough. BLM, he, him, like it in the butt rough. Here come the lawsuit, not what you say. Crafting the legend you were working on a movie. Andromeda and Anthem's writer, make or break Yote, another dust biter. Kids dead in a flood brought out the racist. No tolerance from Steinberg faces. Pancakes, eggs, and bacon on a side. YouTube unsubscribe, so I guess a nigga bona fide. AI might be noticing too much. High yelled batteries dead, pop my blood. Goes my weasel, lick it like a lolly. Shields up, torpedoes armed for the volley. Conjunction, junction, cameras malfunction. Jeffrey Epstein wasn't braced for the truncheon. You can be the board, we can be the beetle. Been a hard day's night, Kakuna my weedle. Manly woman in a woke western game. Reboot the industry harder than mainframe. Stepped away but I'm back, did you miss me? Sponsor me Mickey D's, let's get crispy.
Alrighty then, somebody stop me.
Your job now with a side of chutney. Hello, beta testers. Brother, you can't tell by the way I use my talk. I'm a man of the people, no time to suck cock. Tacit Paul, journalist of Forbes, a shill ass open for whom can afford. You should buy this game that's dead. Sneezes, journos, dented head. First Descendant, ooh that's hot. Everything that game is not. It's alright, it's okay. Monetized but free to play. Them booty cheeks I'll pulverize. The guys and gals got stars in their eyes. Ooh. Whether you are normal or whether you're transformer, you are living a lie, living a lie. Delirious and shaken, your gender is not mistaken. You are living a lie, living a lie. Living a lie, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Dipshit's only employee couldn't breastfeed and said, what about me? Twinkle toe sterling masculine chin. We got a different definition of women. Creeping nasty in denial. Even SCPs don't get this vile. Cope and seethe, bitch and moan. Bought by BlackRock and Blackstone. Subject are to woke inspection. Such sabotage just cost an election. Kyle sings like a cold canary, cause Dia's born a Sheila, not a Tom, Dick, or Harry. We won't bow down and we won't ask please. Who looking in the mirror do you think you'll deceive? YouTube wants to ban this heat, but dollars don't puppet CYAE. L. Erwan Lafloyel, IGN France, forced to apologize, then shit his pants. Striped shirt, baguette, his time to shine. Tutu, straight jacket, cheese for that wine. Tiny, oui, sacre bleu, mon ami. Fuck you mean credibility, he said homosexually. Stellar Blade about to cause a murder, says some clown that you've never heard of. Video games might make me kill, so Fortnite make me build IRL? Eve, if I'm not mistaken, slice motherfuckers with titties shaking, serving up chemical castration to modern gaming abominations. Got you screeching every hour. Stanky bitches need a shower. Do they have that where you come from? Do these words make you wanna grab a gun? Spreading both butt cheeks, we all watch you prance. berries and cream, crank that little lad dance. Pretty women ignite my fucking crotch. Games journals out here on suicide watch. Hamburgers, butterscotch. Play with your dollies and hopscotch. This old man, he cracked corn, his birth was a mistake. Said pretty women equal porn, just want an easy bake. Oven, that's not a real vagina. That's penis degloving. When it come to Stella Blade, people pushing and shoving. Salty, ugly, triggered bitches with an axe to grind. You thought you had worth? Allow me to remind. Woke Review scored last year's bestseller 1 out of 10. Another cum gargling activist fucked in the head. Don't trivialize that I theorize that between your thighs lies a cock and balls. Skeet skeet to the window, skeet skeet to the wall. I keep forgetting what the fourth option I want to be for the vote is. Let me turn this down to round about here and ask how you all are doing. I don't know what I'm gonna have for the fourth thing, but I almost want to kind of tune out tonight. So I know Rivals is kind of up your ass. So let me say this. I was gonna make the 4 choices: Katamari, another weapons review, Fortnite Power Rangers, and Marvel Rivals. What do you think I should take off to put something else? You know what I mean? What should I remove out of Katamari, another weapons review, Fortnite Power Rangers, and Marvel Rivals? Which should I remove? And Bruce Field says take off Marvel Rivals. And I will get to all of what you're saying. I love you. But just kind of help me with this so I can establish the vote first. One of you wants Rivals off, man. You guys are circle bro. So what could I put there? Like an old GTA or something? Rivals off, for God's sake. You guys want Rivals off. Should I put an old GTA? Is that better? I feel like if I put on an old Assassin's Creed, that'll be too easy for y'all to pick. I really want something that's mindless. I'd even pick Astrobot if I were crazy enough. I'd even pick Bluey. Crazy enough. I wonder if there's even like an easy fighting game. I'd probably play some of that Injustice bullshit. Is that what's going on? Remove Marvel and add Jack. For God's sake. Jack and Daxter, for God's sake. I don't think I even have Jack 2. Okay. Thank God. If you remove something, don't replace it. Too many options is always your downfall? Too many options. It's just 4 fucking things. I don't even know if you motherfuckers know what you want to pick. So why don't I put Fibbage on there? I'll put Jackbox, Fibbage. And you said no Marvel Rivals. There it is. So let me just address some of you all, going back up to the top. And oh my God, we'll be able to get down to business. So how are you all feeling? Just hoping that you're all gonna unwind as hard as I'm gonna be able to now. Hoping and feeling like I've earned that after a hard, thankless, payless day. What the fuck? I love you. I hope you're all doing well and that everything's making sense. For God's sake. I think I saw Neil just now. I hope you're doing well after your surgery and that everything makes sense. Feel like I messaged you, but I either didn't get a response or it didn't notify me. So yes, today Dia and I watched Weapon. Damn, DJ LaRue.
Welcome to Gamergate 3, or as I like to call it, Lord of the Gamergate. Return of the Gamer words cool. Big love from the landmarks of the Mothman. Take it easy, and if it was easy, take it twice cool.
My man. That is a mouthful that you just said. And I appreciated the way I appreciate how there's this scene in this movie that's been floating around, and it had one of the Wayans brothers in it, and it's like he got into a jail cell, and this one dude started talking to him and was like, "My brother, if you understand, then you have to make the plan." And everything he was saying was like rhyming. It was terrible, and he just kept going. It was nuts, and that's what I feel like sometimes. Like I'll drift right into that shit if I'm not careful. It's awful. But yes, no, I loved all of that you said. That shit's crazy. Even though I don't I don't stand behind no use of the word Gamergate, because that is a term that, and I appreciate and understand people, taking it like the word nigga and turning it into something that's a term of endearment. Oh, they want to call us a sexist, a phobe, a bigot. They want to use Gamergate like it's a bad thing. No. Gamergate is the beginning of our revolution, please. You know what I mean? But they're going to be using that because the way that they look at, oh my God, the perfect way to look at Gamergate when people bring that word up, especially journalists, is, oh my God, there's this Asian dude who did Gangnam Style and like the ice bucket challenge, and he got popular. He got like a lot of internet clout for it. And he's been doing it ever since, trying to recreate that, because he forever associates that thing that he did with all the attention that he got. So it's not unlike some of these journalists that are like conditioned like a dog, right, to just remember this time that they got a bunch of shit, of a lot of attention. And you almost can't blame them for trying that for a while to see if they can recreate that. But brother, when you could tell it's just them doing it because they want the attention, it's sad. I wish you guys knew the name of that Asian guy, because I watched a video on him and it was so fascinating.
He was a lol cow.
Dia's awake. Dia, you're talking, the Asian guy's a lol cow.
Yeah.
Yo, punk ass. I wonder if like my Kyle voice is so much of a whirlwind of gravity. You know what I mean? You can go back to sleep. There's no interesting things happening. I'll let you know if somebody donates big, Dia, and then you can get up and shake those big titties or whatever it is we do around here when somebody goes crazy. I'm kidding, DJ LaRue. You were the big donation. And if you were a woman, I'd tell you what else is big around here. You know what I'm talking about? Alright. So earlier today, I was actually observing somebody get triggered because I retweeted something they said and posted it with a meme of a guy going, "If you don't call me what I want to be called, I'm gonna fucking kill myself." And it's like, imagine if men did this with women, like, you better fuck me. If you don't fuck me, I'm gonna take my own life. Is that like an effective means of manipulating them? Anyway, the person that was retweeting somebody's death, and this is what's so sick about these trans motherfuckers, dude. One of these trans dudes retweeted some guy's death, right? Because they threw themselves in front of a train and was like, oh, they did this because they were misgendered. When in the actual article talking about it, they were saying that they don't know the cause. There wasn't like, something written to definitively say this is what happened and this is why. So unfortunately, we are meant to look at this entity who decided to retweet this with the suspicion that they are politicizing this person's death for the sake of their cause, for the sake of clout, for the sake of trans virtue signaling. And they are listing themselves or labeling themselves as that in their bio and shit like that. But you're hearing all of these people talk about how they're like a zoophile and they eat shit on stream, and they've posted this kind of crap in the past to try to get attention. And it's like, okay, bro, I don't care. I don't want to know the life of these asswipes. But at the end of the day, they're super triggered when it's like, bitch, you're the one looking for all of this attention. We don't understand what's going on the internet. Anyway, I was going to get involved in making it abundantly clear that some of the tactics people are trying to get away with aren't going to be as effective when all of their shit on the internet is more public than they're pretending that it is. But I just knew better than to get engaged because, my dick is too big for all of that. I'm talking about it's a dangerous thing when your dick big. People don't like it when their dick go big or now. But I did look up this one clip that really resonates in my soul and my body whenever I think of this kind of thing going down. And I'm going to play it for you right now if you guys are fine with it. I almost feel like I feel a little embarrassed because I know specifically Anil is going to be familiar with it with his bitch ass because, autism, but it is from a sick animation video, which is not unlike another video I usually play when Anil goes crazy. But this one is from a video called Come On Scoob, where the video starts off like this.
Fred's in the other room trying to kill himself.
I'm gonna do it, Shaggy.
I need to get in there and help him.
I'm gonna freaking do it, Shaggy.
Now, the clip, I'm gonna fucking do it, Shaggy, it's been living rent-free in my head since I've seen it. I'm gonna fucking do it, Shaggy. I know what you want, Shaggy. Yeah, you want to make a big sandwich. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, it seems that you've all voted for another review of Weapons. Unbearable. That's what I consider most of you. Thank you. Thank you. Hello to Null of Clintar, the hero, the Power Rangers enabler. I can't believe it. Power Rangers in Fortnite, Batmobile in Fortnite. Oh my god. And some of you may think that's kind of corny. You know what I mean? But I deleted Call of Duty today because when I opened it up to try to play it, it was like, hey, I'm going to need another 100 gigabytes of... Like, literally, my body's, like, rejecting this just thinking about it. I want to be vomit time. Like, I want to throw up. Fucking hate Call of Duty. It already had 300 gigabytes of space, and it wanted more gigabytes of space. And this is the kind of shit that's in Call of Duty. I'm really tired of trying to, like, prove to everybody just how insane that game is. I really think I found it. I think I found the picture that I can just show this one picture and be done. It's funny. I changed my hair to Bob from Reboot, and now I realize my hair kind of is like that. Until I get some money to get it properly dreaded. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I'm waiting to get my hair did. But it actually kind of does look a little bit like that, which is weird when I think about it. I didn't, I just chose it because it's Reboot. And I am a guardian of the city of Mainframe. I'm thinking I should up the opacity on those commercials. You let me know how I should go. So guys, I saw a movie today. Dia and I watched a movie. And the thing you need to understand about the movie Weapons is that probably everybody that you're going to find talking about it is capping for this thing. They think this is God's gift to the world. And I'd never heard people talk about a fucking movie like this. And like the only thing carrying this thing is the concept or, the juicy kind of setup of the movie. So here's the setup, okay? Some kids in like a 3rd or a 4th grade class go missing. And it all happens at like 2:17 in the morning. Some of the parents have Ring cameras or door cameras, so they capture their children at 2:17 in the morning running off into the night. And the way that we get it in the beginning is kind of delivered from one of the kids telling the story of how this entire classroom doesn't show up at the school. And everybody in that class is gone except for one kid. So an entire class of kids gone except for one kid. 2:17 in the morning, a number of those kids are spotted on the cameras just running off into the night. And I'd love to share kind of videos of this, but I'm actually just going to go to somebody's video because they would know what they can get away with including without getting struck. A lot of the things that's killing movies these days is how kind of vicious they are about going after people on platforms like this, whom they would not exist without the kind of people just, lending discourse to. So this is a Warner Brothers movie, and I was actually shocked when Dia and I booted this motherfucker up because it said New Line Cinema, and New Line Cinema is behind, honest to God, like some of the most unique and interesting movies that I can't believe, got to exist. The Mask, Ninja Turtles, Blade, Rush Hour, Friday, American History X, Final Destination, In the Mouth of Madness, 7, Lord of the Rings, Austin Powers, Blade. I say Blade? Elf. Anyway, this movie, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I just want to say it sucked, in my opinion. Am I saying it's so bad that you would hate it if you watched it? Absolutely not. I think the payoff towards the end made the movie serviceable. Do I think it was a long way to a payoff like that? Yes. I don't know if I don't know what I would do to tweak the runtime, but it was getting on my nerves. So I'm just going to go through it the way that I was kind of live tweeting it, because while I was watching it, I was going out of my mind thinking, dude, I've done it again. I've wasted my own time. We've chosen a movie, live action TMNT from the 90s. You damn right. Some real creepy stuff happened with this particular, with New Line Cinema. So, I know that they're not themselves anymore. They exist as a part of Warner Brothers, but seeing the logo like they were not Warner Brothers was interesting. Because I know they're a part of Warner Brothers now. Warner, shit happens. So, you guys wanted us to get into another another review for Weapons. Okay? So, tonight could be very interesting, I guess, based on who you end up choosing. Because I'm going to give you the plot, and then we're going to go from there. So, I'm going to go ahead and just try skipping around in this motherfucker. You see, there it is. Oh, it says at the bottom, Warner Bros. Discovery Company. Yeah, Warner Discovery. Jesus Christ. So, just seeing New Line Cinema was, interesting. So, here you have the teacher, who, is kind of, speaking to an assembly of parents here. And this was probably, just adding to the tension of the movie, where naturally you'd have a bunch of pissed off parents. They'd think that the teacher is responsible for a whole class, specifically one class, out of an entire school, except for one kid that, goes missing. And Josh Brolin's in the movie. Thank God. He's probably one of the only shining lights, as far as I'm concerned, to just salvage this nightmare. Because they choose this bitch, and it's like, you look at her, and you're almost thinking, oh my God, we got this woke movie going on. Most flat-chested woman you can imagine. I look her up after the movie. Her name is Julia Garner. She plays the Silver Surfer, Dia was telling me. And Dia also said that they made her titties bigger for that role because she was flat as an ironing board in this bitch. And it's crazy because we look at the Silver Surfer, and if we were to pull up the two fucking comic iterations that she exists in, because that's what they were doing, they just needed a lady Silver Surfer, so didn't matter if she appeared in the comics a bunch or not. They had two different times. I could look it up right now. Lady Silver Surfer comics. Well, there you have it. Oh, would you look at that? Weird. That looks significantly bigger and more feminine than anything we'd be seeing in the... So thank you, Eric. Eric Jenkins. Oh, Adair Soto, you're the one gifting the memberships. Kind of you, and I appreciate you. But we don't need to get into the breast size of characters in comic books, because of course they would be made appealing with the intent of actually selling copies and making people want to watch, which is, I guess, a problem that the MCU was going to run into because Disney. So we have this movie where this woman, it's kind of pitched around her initially. And then, this is the most interesting thing that the movie does, it starts giving us other people's perspective. So then we get the perspective of Brolin, inevitably. Benedict Wong is in this movie, and he really allows the movie to be interesting towards the end. So I'm really not going to get into much of what we see here, but because this is a spoiler review, I do want to go ahead and give everybody the warning right now that I'm just going to spoil the shit out of this thing, okay? I'm going to spoil the shit out of this thing, so if you want to go see Weapons, this is your warning. I respect you enough to not want this to be ruined for you, but it is also made clear in the title of this video that I intend to spoil this movie. So, there's your warning, and let's get into it. I'm gonna look up a plot summary, because I don't want to do it. I'm gonna leave something out. I think I'm honest enough with myself to know that. Plot summary for Weapons 2025. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Well, here it is. There's a quick one. When all but one child from the same classroom mysteriously vanish on the same night at exactly the same time, a community is left questioning who or what is behind the disappearance. It is a 3.3 on the kind of vague Google scoring system. My God! 1 star from some motherfucker that says, I honestly walked out of the theater feeling super disappointed. I was expecting a good dose of horror and suspense, but instead what does he say? But instead, it was just 2 hours of flashbacks and plot holes. Okay, so I appreciate the perspectives from other people, and I don't consider them flashbacks so much as here's the same kind of time playing out from other people's perspective. They actually go from a cop's perspective, and you end up identifying with this guy because he slugs a motherfucker in the face because he's arresting a kid, and he's like, do you have anything in your pockets that could prick me? You know what I mean? And the kid says no, and as soon as he puts his hand in the fucking pocket, he gets stabbed with a fucking syringe, and this motherfucker decks this kid in the face, dude. And you can kind of, in the moment, just feel, you dirty piece of shit, I fucking asked you this. And that's exactly what happened. So he's, like, rushing into the car to try to, fix his hand in case he's, getting high or whatever the fuck he think may happen to him. And he was thinking about AIDS, because later in the story, he asked the guy, do you have AIDS? Do you have hepatitis? Do you have all this shit? Because they're sharing a needle now. And then he pulls out the camera to try to hide the camera. He goes back to the station and is, like, telling the chief, he's like, bro, oh, shit. And then he actually cheats on his wife. And I'm thinking, oh man, well we almost have him potentially being under the influence as an excuse for why, he goes all the way with the flat-chested teacher of all things. And then the one woman with titties in the movie was like the wife. And it was almost like the big titty lady was getting the man treatment in the movie. And that may be a conspiracy theory. You know what I mean? But I think it's interesting that the big titty lady was getting the short end of the stick. So again, I'm very sorry. Just seeing these 1-star reviews got me acting all kind of funny because, my nigga, it's not a couple. I said all, dude. It's listing all of them, not like the lowest ones or the worst ones. It's filtering by all. And it's giving me a bunch of 1-star reviews. After watching the movie, I have to agree with Radio Rebel? Who the fuck is that? Probably one of the most disappointing movies I've seen in theaters. I expected horror and suspense. Instead, I got 2 hours of flashback and plot holes. Why doesn't this sound like the other one? I was expecting it to host adoring her horror and respect. I got plot hole. What the fuck? Plot holes. Why y'all saying the same thing? Weapons is the real deal. I saw it at a special screening. perfect 100% score on Rotten Tomatoes. And I completely agree with the initial reaction. It's a movie built around a chilling premise that keeps you guessing from start to finish. Jesus Christ, man. It's like I was beginning to think these guys are bots, but I think this guy's a bot too. A chilling premise that'll keep you guessing from start to finish, with some truly unique and unsettling elements of sorcery and blood rituals. So, by the end of the movie, you realize it's like some sort of witch who's like controlling these kids, and she starts controlling grown people too. But the coolest part of the movie is when she controls Benedict Wong, and the movie shits its pants by having these like shitty jump scares that turn into it's all a dream sequences. And at one point we have a shitty jump scare in a dream where the woman is like in her classroom, and the kid that survived or like is left is in the class while all the other kids are in there with their heads down, and he looks like the Joker. I'm looking this up right now because it's gonna seem stupid to you, and when I show this to you, you're gonna think, bro, you're stupid for watching this movie. And how can I fight you? How can I fight you when I show you this and explain it to you in the movie? There is a jump scare where the teacher is in the classroom in a dream, and she looks at the back of the class, and the kids dressed like this. And then, jump scare. She wakes up, and then she starts hearing stuff in the house, and it's like, oh my God, is somebody in here? And then she looks up at the ceiling. Oh my God, there's a woman on the roof. Jump scare. And it's like, what are we doing? And then we have the father who lost one of his kids, and in his dream, he goes to like a house and finds his
E-house.
Huh? Oh, he goes to the house in the dream?
Yes.
Okay, so here's the fun part of the movie. Josh Brolin plays the dad of one of the kids that goes missing. And in his dream, he goes to the house where the witch, spoiler, has, bewitched all of these kids and sent them running to the basement in the house. And the witch is an Aunt Gladys who shows up at the house of the one kid that is left. So that kid knows, because by the end of the movie, you realize that, unfortunately, the witch aunt got this little kid to do her bidding in going to school, because she controls them with like articles or possessions of theirs, and then she really takes over them when she gets some of their hair, and she sends the kid to school to get stuff that belongs to the other kids, because she's like torturing the parents. And that's the best part of the movie, is kind of when you get the perspective of this, defenseless, kind of helpless kid. And he goes home, and you can tell that after the aunt came to visit that the parents aren't right. And this kid instantly knows, like, what's wrong with my parents? What the fuck? He throws water in the dad's face, and the dad is just like kind of zombie, and the aunt has him sit down and starts controlling the parents and making them stab themselves in the face and shit. And she's like, you better not tell nobody and all of this shit. And then, a little time goes by, and she's just like telling him that she'll go away. Because he's like, how can I help you? Because she's dying. He's like, I'll go away if you bring me something of all of the kids. She brings all the kids to the basement. It's this whole fucking thing. By the time they all get out there, everybody is being turned into... It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. And it's like... The only things that work because you're sick of this movie by the end of it. You know what I mean? And that's how I felt. I felt like I was truly sick of this shit. What do you mean, a witch? Seriously, Anil? Say my name, because I'm not trying to miss what you're saying. Creepypasta the movie, Kyle? I don't even have a problem with that. I'm such a little fucking loser. I'll sit down and watch the fucking, what do you want to call it? Tales from the Crypt Keeper. I like a SCP story. Even some of the shitty new ones written by fucking, entities. Bro, it was the execution that was all over the place. And then, like, by the time... I understand, like, you have, like, a setup, a reminder, and a payoff, but
sometimes when enough time goes by for you to check out, dude, this is not me being TikTok brained. This is not my generation. I just felt like I barely had anything more than halfway through the movie to keep me on board, and it was starting to fucking drive me insane. So I'm gonna drive right into the review now, and then stop you to give you how I felt about stuff. But just to keep it interesting, I want you guys to be the one to choose the review. And then I'll interject with what I thought was relevant. My favorite part of the movie, I can say, was Wong turning into a zombie, and his eyes were bugging. That must have been some great makeup or a mask, because he was not blinking at times, and it was very funny. Some of the frames of Wong in that movie are definitely going to become memes when I guess enough time passes, because that shit was too funny. And the end of the movie really turns into the little kid that survived, or was the remaining kid, taking a thing that controlled all of these kids and turning them against the old lady. So at the end, all of the kids go zombie and like rip the old lady witch apart, and they're really, teeth ripping skin apart. They were treating that bitch like Mr. Fantastic by the end of it. And I guess it was fun. The funniest parts are right at the end when those kids are kind of charging after that old lady. They're busting through fucking rooms and shit. It was almost like watching a superhero movie with some of these kids that were just, bursting through windows and shit. Oh my god. I don't know. But, yeah, no, I'll let you guys choose here, because it was fine. It was serviceable. It was not woke, and I think that's the best thing it had going for it. But I think the casting was woke, because it wouldn't have killed you to get a big titty woman to keep us distracted. You know what I'm saying? When you throw men who are your majority audience, heterosexual men, your majority audience, a bone, literally, you'll have us you won't have to misdirect. We'll be distracted by them titties, and we'll also want this bitch we're watching to be okay. That's why they're getting the Natalie Portman to shoot you the doe eyes in the middle of the scene, is because you're supposed to give a shit. And this movie was really making you dislike this woman in the beginning, to the point where you're like, bitch, I hope you die. There's a scene in the movie where she's running from Benedict Wong, and she goes into a gas station and really corners herself, and it's like, good, you're so dumb. Anyway, here we have a couple of reviews. Jeremy Johns, I don't know if you know them. Karsten Runquist. Somebody named Karsten Runquist on the internet? Jesus Christ. Heavy spoilers. Some schmuck named Kyle's a live stream now. Whoever Chris Stuckman is. Tyro Magnus, he's still at this. Angry Joe, fuck off. An hour he talked about this goddamn movie? So we have movie files. We have 3C films. Yes, there go Benedict Wong. I'm telling you, that's the funny part of the movie, dude. He shows up and you're like, God damn. You know what I mean? This shit's funny. Anyway, Looper, but nah, these aren't reviews, man. I needed a review on that ass. The witch looks like uncanny, bro. If we really wanted to talk about it, there are times that we weren't sure she was a man in makeup, and that's the stuff we're not supposed to say, right? Because that's transphobic. But she had such an aura about her when she showed up. Everybody was like, "Oh man, what the fuck?" And then I would say the wokest part of the movie is when she shows up at these gay dudes' house, because Benedict Wong's a gay man in this movie, and she's like, I'm so parched. I need some water. And then the other gay guy is like, come right on in, of course. He doesn't sound like that, but yeah, John Campea, new rock stars. Come on, ain't nobody reviewing this damn movie. Ain't nobody reviewing this movie, man. That's what you get. 3 days ago is Weapons 2025, the new big horror movie? Fuck you people, man. Fuck you people. You seen a single horror movie in your entire life, bro? You seen a single horror movie in your entire life? Of all of your favorite horror movies, does this make top fucking 15? Fuck you people. Fuck you people. One thing I was saying at the end of this movie is, hell no, I don't ever want to see this shit again. That's a sign of a great movie, isn't it? That you never want to fucking rewatch it. That you don't want to recommend it or see it again. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You people gas up all of this bullshit. And it's because you're so used to dog shit. It's been over a decade of fucking woke-ass movies, so you're so fucking scared and oh, you could tickle yourself and click your fucking heels at the end of the day because it's like, oh my god, this thing's not woke. It wasn't stupid. It is stupid. It wasted time. It wasted a plot. I bet you this nigga wrote the screenplay. Jesus Christ, man, the movie was okay. Serviceable by definition. I want to see who's glazing this. I really do. Do you have like movie reviewers that you respect and you know? Because if I could find some people that, you know, you want to watch, I would gladly do that and then interject with how I had a fucking problem with this thing, dude. I've watched some real dreck in my life, but this movie felt like it wasn't going to get to it, brother. And you ever watch something that makes you feel like there was not a single scene wasted? I didn't feel that way like this with this movie. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say? I remember after the second jump scare, it was all a dream. I was like, nigga, what do you want me to do? Am I supposed to hate this? Anyway. And I was high, bro. So it's like, I can't imagine what sober me. Hell yeah. This is the fun. When he is running, that's in the trailer? They put that in the trailer? Don't put that in the trailer. Oh, they put it in the trailer. I'm going to ruin that for y'all? That's fucked up. So by the time that this shit is happening, you're like, oh, this is another dream. Oh my God. That means that oh my God. That means that this scene is on the internet, and all I need to do, oh my God. This is this is one of the frames I was watching the movie going, oh my God, I wish I had this frame. There you go. Yes. There it is. Nigga, I was laughing. Anyway. Kyle, Moist Critical. Are you serious? You gonna pay me to watch Moist Critical? I know you think this is what made me crazy. Is that it felt like a movie for normies. You can't make me listen to that's the only people reviewing movies. That's the only people reviewing anime. It's normies. Okay. Can three of you agree? Can three of you agree on a reviewer and then I'll watch it? Weapons movie review. Dude. Weapons movie review. Yeah, Wong had me cracking up, dude. There was a part where he kills his gay lover, because they invite the witch into their home, because they're so nice, you know. And then she's like, "Can I have some? I need some water." And then when she's gonna get her a glass of water, she goes, "A bowl, please," because it's gonna be for her ritual. You're so done with the movie that you're like calling everything by now. And she's in there and she whips out some shit and she's like doing her little ritual. And then Wong kills his gay lover, but he straddles him and then headbutts him to death. And I remember tweeting something like, "I knew gays like it rough, but this is ridiculous." Sorry. All right, look. Woke? You mean Benedict Wong straddles a man's wang? Wong on Wang action. Woke. Anyway, Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, heavy spoilers, Cody Leach, Tyrone Magnus. We watched a movie YouTube channel. Okay? Sean Chandler, Dan Morrill, Fish and Jelly. It's two guys. One's black and one's white. The best of both worlds. The best of both worlds. Ending explained. Weapon is ... 3C films, and then spooky astronauts. This seems like it's it before we run into nothing from nobody. You know what I'm saying? Why did this nigga just say what? What? He just said what? That's the name of his video. What? What? Huh? What? So, Ligon says, Tyrone, 7 minutes. Tyrone, 7 minutes. You guys like Wong, Wang, whoa. What in the world wide Wang? What in the world wide Wong? Oh, say, can you gay? I promise you there's a scene in the movie where the gay couple that Wong is a part of are in the grocery store picking out Fruity Pebbles. I promise you. And why do I say picking out Fruity Pebbles? Because he's on the phone and his gay partner turns to him with 2 Fruity Pebbles flavor boxes in his hands and is like, which one's it gonna be? This one or this one? Two gay men in a fucking movie scene choosing which Fruity Pebbles they're going to be eating. Yes, that's in the movie. That's in the movie. No big titty women in the movie, but that is. So tell me who we're going to be watching tonight. Let's get into it. I want this to be fun for you guys. I want you to realize that maybe past today, that what's the point of your life? So give me all of your money. It's just a joke. Can I joke like that? Is that okay? Are we adults around here, or is there a 12-year-old just like, he's right, I'm going to give all of my 12-year-old money? Anyway. Are we really doing this like Tyrone Magnus thing? Yeah, I don't see you guys choosing anything else. 3C Films is so shilled out, says just because again, I would like to reiterate, I don't think the movie was bad. I just think it was serviceable at best, and there was nothing, I think this is the most middle of the road, 5 to 6 out of 10, 3 out of 5 star movie in the world. This is not something that we should be pretending is the God's gift because all the movies are shit. You know what I mean? Yes, horror movies are bad, and this isn't bad. This is not bad. This is not bad. It's a little bloated, and it's serviceable. In the end, it was very fun, but it felt like a long way to go for a payoff. And I don't know, maybe it just could have been sliced down a bit, and it would have been very tight, I think. Tight like a woman's pussy, Somebody said 2 out of 5. I'm hearing that. I feel that kind of stuff, man. Do you think Him by Jordan Peele will be better? I do not. But you don't want to hear my opinions as a black dude that's not sipping Kool-Aid on Jordan Peele. You really don't. Anil says, this movie sounds like shit. I'm glad you saved me from it, Kyle. Don't say that, because there are parts. No, I can't pretend. I can't do this whole there are moments thing. Of course there's moments. There's moments in everything. But my problem was, you ever watch an anime and in 2 episodes no, I don't need to continue with this because there's nothing in it for me, right? Something should hook you pretty quick. No disrespect. And I'm not saying things can't start bad and then get better. A lot of anime start bad and get better. A lot of shows start bad and get better. A lot of movies start bad and get better. This thing's pacing issue is not its problem. The problem is, if you've ever watched an old school episode of The Twilight Zone, you realize they trying to stretch a sentence worth of plot over the whole fucking movie. The beginning of this movie is its problem. And it's not awful. It's just like, oh my God. What are we doing? And again, if I had somebody fucking prettier to look at than whatever you've chosen in the way of this lady, dude, you're killing me. You're killing me. After a decade of this, you're killing me. And if Josh Brolin wasn't in the movie, I'd have to fucking wonder. And I hear that Pedro Pascal was supposed to be in this movie. I'm not joking with you. I'm not joking with you. You want me to look it up? Pedro Pascal, weapons. Look at this. Pedro Pascal left Weapons. It's a good thing Pedro isn't in horror movie Weapons. Pedro Pascal was replaced in remarkable new horror. Oh, remarkable. Let me drink, man. Let me drink, man. Nobody cool reviewed this that y'all could tell me about? Whatever. Nobody cool reviewed this? Damn. So, tell me what it is. I already read all of this crap. Let's go. Let's go. We already read everybody that you said. I see 2 people like Tyrone. Y'all care about Tyrone like that? I don't think you do. I thought you guys would want one of the people that you think would shill. And somebody said something about 3C earlier, like they're shilling. If you think they're shilling, that probably is the best combination for Kyle, because I hated this thing. You know, the end of it was very funny in a kind of like we don't care anymore way. Let's go out with a bang, sort of like crescendo end to a symphony. And I appreciate that. And I wonder if that's my problem, is that I enjoyed the end the way I enjoy like a Final Destination. Am I looking for schlock? Is this not my kind of movie? And I hate it because I feel like I need to defend myself by going, oh, well, I like Hereditary and I want to say all these other movies that I like, where it is not schlock, it is not kind of dumb and fast and instant gratification. I shouldn't have to fucking defend myself when I say this movie is like, because that's a fucking problem. The movie's like, And if everybody's glazing this because it isn't as bad as everything else, let me put it to you like this. This movie's not bad. Okay? I wouldn't even call it like mid. I'd just say it had a little issues. I would call something like Fantastic Four mid and bad. And it's not because I'm a comic book fan. It's because the movie sucked. That movie sucked. This movie is serviceable. And I think anybody elevating that past serviceable is factoring in other movies being even more dog shit to make this one feel better. Dia is awake. Dia's gonna give you her feelings on this bitch. But sweetie, I think you should plug in your headset here, because what we're gonna do right now is watch somebody else talk about their experience with this thing. And I hope it will provide the opportunity for you to... Oh my god, I'm dropping things. Are you mad at the idea? There you go. I'm handing Dia the auxiliary cable to be able to hear.
It'll be a while, so.
It'll be a while, so let me run my mouth. And I guess you guys can just... I'm sorry there's nobody fun that did this. So Chris said, sorry, say my name so it'll be easier for me to see what you're saying. Somebody saying Angry Joe would shill it. He's going to talk about it for an hour, dude. What are we doing? Even a half hour I don't think is that bad, but you're a 50-minute... Because he's got his little group of assholes that chime in and shit. And it's like a podcast almost. The dude who named his review what? I like that. I like the one of the guys was like, what? Where is that? Woman carrying man. How do y'all feel about this one? This one says what? 8 more. Chris Stuckman, that's Together. That's another one. That's another whole movie. There are so many parts in the movie where you can tell the script is hyper aware that it's wasting our time. So it just gets us to the next beat. You understand? And whether that's through, oh, he's a kid, so maybe he'd do this, or this is a junkie now, so he needs his fix and he's going to do this, or, well, she just gets drunk, so it goes to the next. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. There's a part where the teacher, like, straight up stalks the kid and then goes onto his property in the backyard and is looking through his fucking house and shit. It's amazing. It's amazing. And in the moment, you're like, what the fuck is going on? But by the end of it, you're like, dude, whatever the script needed to do so that we could get to where we're going. So Dia, you know, is doing her thing. A guy carrying things. I hope you guys are satisfied with this, okay? It don't matter, Kyle. All of these probably suck. Yeah, you're saying I'm like giving myself option paralysis? Is that what you're saying? I only wanted some of you to line up on what you wanted to watch, so it wouldn't feel like I was the one dictating which fucking review we wanted. As far as Kyle's concerned, it's just a bunch of fucking white people reviewing this pussy-ass movie. So you guys picking Tyrone was hilarious, because it was like, well, that's the only black face I'm seeing outside of the one tag team interracial duo of white man, black man. One day night debate, y'all, let's go, you know? So Chris Stuckman, Jeremy Johns, no disrespect, I don't just see them as white people. But, you know, I can't help but notice we don't even have a lot of girls reviewing shit, man. Girls gotta be reviewing movies. Weapons movie, does it live up to the hype? Sean Chandler, you know. Dan Muriel. Even this guy's like a light black. He's like a cappuccino, like a mocha. Not even, no mocha. Cappuccino. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. That's like the gay trying to fight its way out of me.
You will get back inside of me. Get back inside of me. Get back inside of me, gay.
Okay. So what I have pulled up is the one where he... Huh?
I said, okay, I can hear.
Dia says she can hear. I'm going to try to keep it down. And somebody made a video that is called What? So I'm going to go into it. I think it's interesting that he chose Josh Brolin for his thumbnail, because he was kind of what saved the movie for me. So I'm going to go ahead and make it so hopefully you can hear Dia. Dia, why don't you tell us what your favorite Kyle cream is?
You don't sell cream.
I don't sell creams. I can't really hear you. I have to make this really loud to hear
Don't
Dia.
do that.
I just think it needs to happen. I've turned off one of the fans, so the wind turbine that we normally have going on in this room is not. Oh, cool. So the mouse is caught on something. Great. So the beta testers wanted that representation, so we chose Tyrone. Joking, of course. Let's go ahead and check out this video called What, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and speed this up, and then we will interject whenever I feel the need to say something or whenever Dia does. I really want to give you my impression of this thing, for whatever reason, almost exclusively, because so many people are capping about it. And here we go.
Barbarian was one of my favorite movies of the last few years. It was directed by Zach Krager of Whitest Kids You Know fame. I went in with zero...
Okay, so I just learned something. Do you believe that?
Same.
Dia said same.
I didn't know that.
We didn't know he had anything to do
What?
with...
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ, Dia. It's one of the fucking guys on Whitest Kids You Know.
Like, literally. What?
I had no fucking idea. Does this change things? Sort of.
Sort of, and the reason being is because when it had humorous moments, they were genuinely funny.
Here's what I think it changes. I can't believe this. This is one of my niggas, and he made me laugh and he's entertained me with, you know, God bless Noah, he's gone. But here's what I think now. I think this motherfucker was making a safe movie. But look at him, he's in front of this movie that other people were mentioning called Barbarian. If he's made another movie, maybe that should have been the safe movie. And this was playing it too safe.
People said that Barbarian is a better version of Weapons.
You can't say that because it's almost like he made the same movie.
I don't fucking know, but that's what some people...
Neil says he saw Barbarian and Barbarian sucked. Ligon says they didn't see Barbarian. Balezar says there was a lot of humor in the movie. There was a lot of humor that didn't land in the movie. The one time I smiled was the scene where Josh Brolin is the character that finally starts using his brain. That's who the script allowed to use his brain. So all the kids leave the house at 2:17 in the morning. You have to imagine if this happened in real life. If this happened in real life, eventually, some of the parents who morbidly are rewatching the last time they ever saw their fucking kid alive would be wanting to see other people's footage. Not just because hopefully we could kind of see what's going on, or if they moved in a certain direction to triangulate something, which is what Josh Brolin's character ends up doing, but, you know, it's just like the way things would naturally go. So, that's what this dude's character does, and I bring him up to say, I'm sorry that I'm thinking of Jim Krasinski.
Yeah.
Because you remember my problem with, what is it, The Silence or some shit like that, where they can't talk? What's the, we don't know the name of that movie, where like they got to be quiet because there's a monster. The Quiet Place. That movie felt safe. And I remember it being Jim Krasinski, is it John Krasinski? It's John Krasinski, who played Jim Halper in The Office. Because it was his directorial debut, I thought, this nigga's playing it safe. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to go too far and fuck shit up. And again, it's really not about making something that resonates in a big way and is like perfect and amazing. It's about doing something that's going to be successful. And that's what this apparently is. So people are telling me that Barbarian is the better movie than over this Weapons. And from what I'm understanding, it seems like that should have been where he played it safe. Yet, he's kind of doing that again here. I'm shocked to know who wrote it. Zach Kreger. Who wrote Weapons 2025? He write the screenplay for this? Weapons is an American mystery horror film written, co-produced, and directed. Wow. It's so unfair that you have to wonder if he'd have ended up here if not for
Unfortunately,
you know, things go the way things go. I want to give this a little more credit, knowing that this funny guy did this. You know?
I'll only give it credit for the funny parts. The horror parts didn't land.
It wasn't horror. It wasn't horror. Those jump scares were ready to make me want to get the fuck out.
Yeah, it can be shitty horror. But horror nonetheless. That's what it was aiming for, and it missed.
Guys, I'm very sorry we're getting in. The last thing I expected was for some motherfucker to hit me with something in the first couple of seconds of the video that I wasn't even paying attention to. Or aware of, I should say. I was not aware. So, we haven't seen Barbarians. I doubt that it's better, but I'll take people's word for it. Fuck me.
Zero expectations and came out a huge fan. But now it's time for a follow-up, a movie that's getting a ton of praise. Apparently it was like a bidding war for the script. Jordan Peele's company lost out on it and they were apparently very frustrated. And now this movie is coming.
What?
I told you, Jordan Peele fired his team. I don't know how large of a percentage, if not all of it. Jordan was so mad he missed out on Weapons, he started firing his team. Or people in his team. It was that bad.
Just LJ says the suspense was better than the horror.
Yes.
We agree, but the suspense is what we are a part of creating. And we can create suspense with the unknown. We can create horror with a monster you don't show us that is better than anything you will show us. So the beginning of the movie is salivation worthy. Kids disappear in the dead of night. The last you have of them are them running off with their hands bizarrely at their sides. And that's the last you see of them. We get to the school, and it's only one classroom that is missing, save one student. So instantly, it is, figuratively, a witch hunt. And who's the fucking... Where are we going to put the blame on? We can't put it on the kid. What the fuck did the kid do? But we putting it on the teacher. So the teacher ends up, being this thing in the town that everybody's pissed with, and you know something, and why won't you talk, and blah blah blah.
Like, this is all your fault. You must have done something because it's just your class that had this problem happen to them.
Nothing really manifests from that. By the time we spent a couple of minutes with this fucking teacher, we're sick of her. We hate her.
Yeah.
The movie wants you to hate her. She's like a bitch, and maybe she's drunk, but it's like, okay. Josh Brolin's character writes witch on the side of her car in red, a red herring, because towards the end there's a literal witch named Aunt Gladys.
I loved Aunt Gladys.
Gladys look like a man in makeup, in heavy makeup. Is that okay to say? I love the idea. Does that make me a fart knocker? Does that make me a hater to know that Peele was mad? So does this mean that Whitest Kids You Know motherfucker wrote this shit, right, Dia? Mm-hmm. And then potentially he wasn't going to be the one directing it?
And then Justin Broilan was like, I got you, bitch.
Jordan Peele.
No. Josh Broilan. He is like an executive producer and all this shit.
When's the last time people saw a script and had faith in it enough to jump in it and get behind it? Why do we do this flat-chested woman where we finding these women? This is something I tweeted because I'm dead serious about this. What's going on? What's going on with these flat-chested women that there is no shortage of? I'm telling you, I was hating this movie by the time that the second jump scare happened and it was all a dream, and I'm like, fuck this. Fuck this. But the only purpose that I can claim that served is misdirection, in the way of, by the time you see Wong in the street, you're almost ready for this to be another dream. Who fucking cares? Here we go again.
Yeah.
And then when he runs up on and there's physical shit happening, you're like, God, wait, this is real? This nigga bleeding from the eyeballs? Are we doing this? Wong bug-eyed, that shit's funny. Anyway. Let's get into this video. I'm so sorry. Jordan Peele lost out on the script and was so mad he was firing people.
Yeah.
Out. It has a $40 million budget, some big actors, Julia Garner, Josh Brolin. So the hype is kind of insane for this, unfairly so. I think it premiered on Rotten Tomatoes at 100%. I think it's down to like 96%. Still.
Oh, cool. Is this somebody that I would actually subscribe to because he's honest enough to say how ridiculous it is that anything should have 100% on Rotten Tomatoes? Exactly. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. We're not putting stake in that at the end of the day, but that anything should have 100% anywhere. Suck my balls. This isn't making it top 15 of your favorite horror movies. And I think if we were to sit at a table with this Whitest Kids You Know motherfucker and be real with him, we couldn't lie to him and lick his balls and say that and have him believe it either. What the fuck? Somebody said, is that the director? Yes, the director and the screenplay writer is one of the dudes in Whitest Kids You Know, if you've ever seen that sketch comedy show. And maybe if you think you haven't even seen it, you've heard of some of the sketches in it. So let me give you one of the internet's favorite sketches is Whitest Kids You Know, Now You Fucked Up. And it's like a Lincoln assassination thing. And he's in the back going, say that shit again. Say that shit again. Now you fucked up.
Now you fucked up.
That's him.
You have fucked up now.
You have fucked up now.
Now you fucked up.
Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up. Now you fucked up.
Now you fucked up. Now
he's dancing back there. It's great. Anyway, let's continue.
That's super high. People are talking about this like, oh, we might have the next horror classic, the next horror masterpiece. I wish I could say that is the case. Before...
Wow. Is it fucking asshole-ish that the one that screamed at me, that I stopped to say, I love this title, because it could seem like, oh, it's just negative, it's just clickbait. No. Something about this video leapt out at me from all of the other dosh on the fucking page. A bit of a, serious look where he's like, come on, y'all. You know what I mean? Because that's how I felt with all of these motherfuckers running their mouth about this bitch-ass movie. I retweeted something on Twitter saying everyone was screaming for 30 seconds when this scene happened in the movie. Dia and I knew we were going to sit and watch this movie and nothing was going to get a reaction out of us. I smiled at a scene where the Josh Brolin's character goes to one of the parents' house and says, hey, you know, I'm one of the parents. I showed the police my footage. I'm sure you did as well. And I wanted to know if it would be okay if I could see the footage. And the mother immediately goes, I wouldn't be comfortable with that. So my nigga Josh Brolin goes back to his car, waits for the dad to come home.
Yeah.
When the dad comes home, he rushes out and is like, hey, he's going to ask this nigga now. You know who that nigga is? You know who's playing the dad? Dia knew the name of this nigga. Justin Long.
Yeah, Justin
Jeepers
Long.
Creepers. Justin Long.
Dusk Justin Long.
Justin Long. He's the dad in Weapons. That was like, okay, yeah, sure, come on in. You can see my footage, even though the wife said no. And then it hard cuts to them in the house looking at the footage, and the wife is in the background of the shot with her arms folded. That's comedy. That's comedy, my nigga. Okay? And the movie, if the movie had more of that silently, fuck me. There's this one shot of the cop who cheats on who cheats on his wife with the teacher.
Yeah.
And right before he goes to see her, and this is like after they already have sex, because we were watching it from the her name is Justine.
Character's name is Justine.
The teacher's name is Justine. We see it from her perspective initially, then we see it from the cop's perspective. And when he gets a text from her, it appears on the phone, and the phone has a picture of him and his wife, and it's really exaggerating the shape of her big ass titties for this flat bitch that he's going to sleep on.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead. Galaxy Quest. You know, Dia and I haven't seen that. We're nightmares. And Alan Rickman's in there. I love him to death. And he's gone. And we're old. We're old, man. Alan Rickman, shit. Anyway, let's go.
Before I go further, hi, I'm Jake. This is Woman Carrying Man. That's enough of that. Nadia is not here today to talk about this film because she did not want to watch it alone.
Damn. He has somebody that he normally does this with, and they're not here. And it's better that way. Because their name's Nadia. It sounds like a woman, Dia. I'm kidding. Not really. I don't know.
He's a little scaredy cat. I wish she had seen it, but I think it would have been a little too intense for her, especially considering it's...
No, this movie intense? What kind of woman have you ended up with? Some people are so different. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the baby. This movie sucks. You know? Like, on the horror factor, are you kidding me? There was one or two scenes that were like, yeah, if you're like us, you know what I mean? It was when he got hit by the car.
Yeah.
And then when he was like giving them the headbang, you know? Because it's all like hollowed out watermelon-y, like...
It's great. It's great.
So stupid.
I hope they used a shit ton of practical effects because it was pretty decent, yeah.
Yo, I'm telling you, Benedict Wong was getting down with the sickness. There's a hard cut of him in this movie that just makes it. Wong and Brolin, baby. I wonder if Jordan Peele, this is going to be the funniest part for me now, is sharing it with you guys and just thinking about Jordan Peele shaking a fist at the air because he didn't get this movie. I bet you he thought, like me, when he watched it, oh, it's not that great. I would have done it better, right? And then everybody's sucking dick over it. They're giving it the full Sinners treatment. You know what I mean? Ooh, Dia. And he's thinking, if I had done it, even if it was just like this, because I have the black excellence angle. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sorry. All right, let's go. Sorry.
It's a film about missing children. I'm going to make a comparison later in this video in the spoiler section to a recent horror film that came out that this movie is very similar to in tone and substance. It's a movie I did not like. I feel like revealing the movie that this is super similar to would kind of be a spoiler for this film because I do think it benefits to go into this movie with zero knowledge of what happens.
It benefits to go into the movie with zero knowledge. I think that's a detriment as well. I think a good horror movie, you can tell the people the plot, not spoil it, right? But tell the people a good amount of the plot with all of the comparisons and similarities that comes with, because every story's been told before in a way. We're just remixing them and executing them in different ways and with different, angles and people and fuck me. But this was okay. There used to be this meme that would go around about the face that white people would make that wasn't quite a smile, but it was kind of like a, you know what I mean? Like an acknowledging kind of mouth move.
Yeah.
That's what this movie makes me do. Yeah.
In fact, don't even watch the trailers. But if you do watch the trailers, I don't think they give that much away. But I'll talk about this comparison in the spoiler section. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. First off, I think that this is a good movie. I just want to talk a little bit about expectations and what I was hoping to get. Now, this is kind of like a problem of this movie having one of the best premises of horror movies of recent years. It's in all...
Premise. Is that the word I'm looking for? I was using concept and stuff like that.
And that's exactly what I told you how I felt about The Quiet Place. Is that the concept of it is neat, the execution of it is too safe of an execution. And I think that what this could have been, it could have gone further. It didn't. I wonder if potentially there was an iteration of this story where we would have gotten what we wanted out of it, but they had to cut back because they were afraid that, if you go too far, less people will be able to watch it because, they'll get carded at the fucking ticket.
A part of me
place.
wants to be proud of this guy because he was in Whitest Kids You Know and he's doing this. But another part of me wants to be furious because Whitest Kids You Know really nailed some of the most, shamefully childish humor. It extracted laughter out of shit that you should be better than to laugh at. There was timing. There was great takes that took something that wasn't funny and made it funny. And I know that it was a very edgy show, especially compared to whatever the fuck they're calling comedy these days. But I really didn't get any of that in this. I think there was a scene we remember when the wife confronts the bitch and it's like, did you sleep with him? Did you sleep with him? There could have been some real funny ass lines slid in there. She grabs a bottle of alcohol because this happens in a liquor gas station, and she douses this bitch in alcohol.
Of what was it? I think it was vodka or some shit.
And without saying anything to each other, Dia and I clearly were like, where's the lighter? You know what I'm saying? This bitch came with intent. And that didn't happen. And I was like, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. But it's when I'm watching your thing, and I'm constantly feeling like what this could use, and then we don't get that, it's like, let's continue.
All the marketing is on the poster. It's one day at 2:17 a.m. All these kids get up out of bed and go disappear. And they're all kids from the same classroom. This teacher is, of course, the target of a lot of suspicion because why did all of her kids, except for one, in this classroom vanish on the same night?
Let's talk about how woke has ruined my ability to enjoy anything. Because the whole time I'm thinking, whatever fuckwad made this movie was making some sort of allegory about a trans teacher or something,
Yeah.
And that would be too based, okay? To have a bunch of kids bewitched and then go disappear, they run off or they're no longer themselves and stuff like that. So it would need to be about how they treat the teacher. Even though they don't know what happened, the teacher is telling you they don't know what happened, but everybody's coming to the wrong conclusion and they're judging before it's okay to be judged. This is how I'm thinking while I'm watching this shit, because it's just what the fuck are we doing? Where are we going? Because the movie should have been fucking taking me for a ride, dude, but it instead was just leaving me with all this time to be like, I'm putting together all of this nonsense that was irrelevant and stupid, and like you guys are saying, by the time the movie kicks in and it's time for suspense, what you're putting in your brain is so much cooler. It's not that it didn't pay off in an okay or fun way. It's just, it It's some shrug-worthy shit, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
And if you have a horror movie that is your favorite horror movie, it's better than this. And I don't mean that in a rude way, because this didn't need to be the best horror movie, but I go further than that to say this. If you have 5 movies that are horror movies that are your favorite, they're better than this. If you have 10 movies that are your favorite horror movies, they're better than this. And I would say that generously, I'm not sure this makes top 15. It doesn't need to, okay? But with the way people are glazing it, which is why in the first 2 minutes of this guy talking about it, he's brought expectations in. He's talked about 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. These fucking movies these days have people capping because they are trying to save the industry and they are shills. What happened to the industry is not our fault. Capping to save it is not going to make movies better. It could, in fact, have a worse effect. So I'm just saying, I don't know what the fuck happened to everybody. I don't know what's come over all of these fucking people. Yes, the bar's been lowered because woke sucks dick, and in the same gaming way that you're seeing nothing but ugly bitches across every fucking game, because you've got all of these dyed hair, obese, nose-piercing bitches deciding, oh, I'm shaving my head. These women need to be flat-chested. These things need to be PG and safe and PC and political. Suck my fucking dick, man. It was an alright movie. That's what I'm saying. But if you look up weapons, man, on Twitter or some social fucking platform, you're going to see some people motherfucking capping, dude. It was that fun? How drunk were you? How high were you? The drugs aren't that good anymore. How many people did you go see it with? Where it was like an atmosphere thing where you could enjoy it with your friends, and then it turns into friend slop for you, the same way that, oh, you're enjoying certain video games with your friends. It just wasn't that good. That's what I'm saying. I'm sorry.
A wild premise, and in the trailer and in the movie, it's they all disappeared, blah blah blah. There's some voiceover narration, and they never came back. What the hell happened? What could this movie deliver on this subject? And this movie certainly delivers in a way I didn't expect. And here's where I want to talk about a thing that I don't necessarily love about the horror genre right now, and that is that some movies come with these great mysteries of like, okay, what are we doing? Where is this going? And then it kind of just becomes a strict genre movie. And I love genre films, but it's kind of set up. I feel like a lot of these filmmakers feel an obligation to like set it up with this like elevated horror premise, or not even elevated horror, just like a more of a
elevated horror premise,
cosmic mystery, like a.
Oh my gosh! I was watching a video not too long ago, like a week or so ago, of a girl saying, "I'm sick and tired of hearing people call certain horror, modern horror, elevated horror because it's better. It's fucking different than from what horror's usually like." And it's like, no. It's the same shit, but you people want to call it something different.
Dia understands she's dating a brute, and I am like Al Bundy at the end of the day. These are a lot of words you guys are throwing around for a movie that wasn't that good.
Exactly. And that's what that girl was saying in the video. She's like, I would understand if there was actually something that was elevating this horror movie that you people believe is elevated, that it's different, that it's better than regular horror movies.
Because here's what that sounds like.
There is nothing distinguishing between, or nothing that makes it unique or elevated than literally anything else that is coming out right now. You people just want to come up with a word that makes you feel better about kind of like a style over substance kind of horror movie.
Style over substance is so much worse in the way of just like a suck my ass like experience. What I'm gonna go ahead and compare this kind of shit to is goalpost moving onto trying to make yourself something by making a specific let's think about a Guinness World Record that somebody has because they decided to do something while riding a unicycle and juggling, right? Mm-hmm. The thing that they did is not special. They're nowhere near the fastest to do it. But nobody else is trying this thing while riding the unicycle and juggling. I'm pretty sure somebody's made a video and said something similar to this, where it's just like, because you've iced this thing with these things, because you've created this category for yourself now you're a big deal. Now you are special within this category. So that's what this sounds like. An excuse. We don't need to do that. We don't need to start calling stuff hey. I think the everyman wants to know if they've seen a good movie. And then the sad part is, and this is, I think, what we really need to accept. It's not really about how good the movie is. It's about the reception. And if they can steer the reception and the direction of Dank than everybody involved with this motherfucker, who is only going to, need this thing to perform well, right? Is going to win. And all the people who are shilling, they win because they were part of this thing, and everybody's going to be trusting them, and maybe they'll walk out of the theater going,
A dark, unknown, whatever. And then it...
you know what this kind of stuff makes me realize?
What?
We don't have people we even watch talk about anything. The last thing Dia and I enjoyed was the show called Severance. It's arguably a little bit woke, but it was very watchable. It was very entertaining, and I wish there were more shit like this. I think Ben Stiller was involved, so take that as you may. But I just loved the ride, and I think there were some things that were said in there that were inadvertently like anti-woke.
Yeah.
Whether they knew it or not. And as we transition out of that time, brother, you guys, like it or not, are going to be witnessing some shit where people are forced to make fun of how uptight a lot of people were trying to be. Because it is restricting art. It's restricting our process. It's restricting the ability to be human. Say my name, I'm not trying to miss any of what you're saying. Null of Clintar says, it's not a real horror movie without lots of titties. Even I had to learn this, my man, is that, slashers are typically where the titties live.
Yeah, anything outside of slashers tends to be more, not conservative, but it doesn't want to do the cheap thing. It actually wants to present something that is...
I want titties
more,
because everyone is... Sorry.
Separation. That's why there's a separation between a slasher and literally any other kind of horror where they'll actually pick the ugly bitches, but it's because it's adding to the movie, not detracting from it.
One of my favorite shots in all of cinema is in The Thing, and it has you kind of paying attention to a hand until it gets a little bit boring, so you kind of stop paying attention to it, and then it gets you. You know what I mean? And then the thing jumps in. It's like, oh my god. You know what I mean? With a pair of titties, bro, we're distracted. It's cheap, but it's effective. It's not a stupid fucking, Jesus Christ. So, I'm saying that, but at the same time, I totally understand not having titties here. It's just, I think I brought up Shelley Duvall in The Shining and Toni Collette in Hereditary to say that I believe that when you're picking some of these flat titty bitches, that they need to be capable of such a performance that people leave the movie wanting to know this bitch's name to repeat it.
Exactly.
This is a fucking horror flick. Your face is on the goddamn box. Show us something. Give us a fucking performance.
Yeah.
And yes, it's unfair to bring up Shelley Duvall because Kyle may be the only black person not sipping Kool-Aid enough to tell you verbatim that the reason we got an amazing performance out of that bitch is because Kubrick was probably torturing the motherfucking actors. And I agree with getting a performance out of somebody. You agree when you are an actor that you want to be famous. And to be famous, you need to be utilized by the artist that you have submit yourself to, like the brush that you are. I'm not saying you should hollow out your asshole like a whore and take it up the ass, but what I'm saying is, if this nigga's demanding 50 takes out of you, 100 takes out of you, 300 takes out of you, bro, maybe they know something you don't and are fishing for something that if they get, it could make your fucking career. That's what I think. Shelley Duvall was talented. Maybe she was pushed too far on The Shining. But as far as the movie is concerned, that she very much helped make. I'm not looking at that movie and thinking, it's all Nicholson. No. And I do not look back at this movie remembering no Julia Garner. She's just going to be the flat-chested woman in the movie that I kept thinking, my God, can we skip this part? Fuck me. And I'm not alone. And this is why I always make my stance known, because as a heterosexual man, there are other people feeling like me, whether they voice it or not. Maybe their girlfriend is stupid and weird, so they don't want to hear it. This nigga's girlfriend can't even watch this fucking movie.
Because it's too scary.
Because it's too scary. You know what I'm saying? So, brother, you want me distracted? You want me misdirected? You want me hooked? Line and sinker? Put some titties in the fucking shot. Have us looking at this woman like we want her to not come to harm and we want to protect her. That's a manly thing. That's fuck me. Let's go.
At a certain point in the movie, you go, oh, we're doing this genre. Oh, we're doing this type of movie. It's aliens, or it's vampires, or it's, And I guess Sinners is sort of guilty of this, but I think Sinners is a little more straightforward in what it is. I really did like this movie. Weapons is a fascinating movie. It was getting compared to Magnolia in a lot of ways. And I can
Bro. Ligon says, agree. How many people here did the Here's Johnny scene? That scene is made by her reaction. She's in there losing her shit. In a way where it's like her performance almost has her giving up.
Yeah. Or she's like...
And maybe the actress is a little tired, a little exhausted. How many times have we shot this? But it's like a psychological thing you're witnessing happening to this person who is cornered. It's amazing. It's cinema. And Whitey throws those words around, which is why it's so easy not to respect anybody. Because we know you're all capping for shit. It's probably the definition of a grift, you could say. Whatever.
Sort of see that. It has like a Rashomon style structure where we're following different characters. Events are overlapped and overlaid, but the plot still works. It's very well plotted. It's like a very tight structured movie. So in that sense, very different from Magnolia. We follow the character of Justine. We follow Archer, who's a father his son vanished. Justine is the teacher. And what I like about this movie is that these feel like real people. They don't feel like people in a horror movie. They feel like people in just a movie or in the world. Justine is not a perfect person. She's not like a perfect character to be like attacked by a mob or called a witch, which happens in this movie. She is kind of a bad person. There's a lot of bad people in this movie. This movie is really about people making bad decisions and what that leads to and how people do things in the wake of tragedy or unknown.
I mean, what the big bad decision for me is not how she acts, because she's insufferable, but that's okay. Maybe we are meant to understand and accept that if you're getting the third degree from a whole town that thinks that you had something to do with the disappearance of a classroom full of kids, you'd go crazy too. You'd be drinking too. But it's when she's like stalking this kid, and then the kid confronts her and says, "Don't follow me," and then she does it anyway.
Benedict Wong's character, I think his character's name is Marcus. Marcus, the principal of the school that this Justine bitch works for, they have a scene towards kind of like the middle to... middle, because her whole portion comes first before anyone else's. They have this whole scene where she's like, well, I would feel better if I could talk to Alex, which is the little boy. She's like, I would feel better if I could talk to Alex. I want to speak to him. Is there any way you can arrange like me being able to speak to him in private? And the principal says, now, see, that's the problem. Verbatim, this is what he says. And see, now that's the problem. This boy has gone through a lot because all of his classmates are gone. He's the only one that's left. He's been interviewed, and he's like on front page news all the time. Well, how about we think about the boy? How about we think about Alex and what he wants? I can't just set up a meeting because it would make you feel better. That's not right. Like, he had to put her in her place to be like, no, bitch, this isn't how things are going to work here.
But the craziest part about this, Skank, is she feels ripped out of any movie from the last 10 years.
Exactly.
It's all about her and what she feels. And this is going to make her seem like a well-written character, when in reality, she's just any typical bitch in a movie these days where it's like, I hear the things that you're saying, but I'm not listening. I know that maybe for this kid, without knowing the context that he's in on all of this nonsense to a certain degree, wants to put this behind him. He's being interviewed by the police and all kind of shit like this over his classroom going missing. Fuck that got to do with him. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go missing.
Yeah. The cop really asks, is there a TV show where this kind of thing happens and this is why you think...
And even
and
that's like
no.
believable for police?
Because they're stupid. So... Oh, there's also another scene where she's actually talking to the boy, and it's the scene where he's like, stop following me, was where she finally like stops him on his way home, and she's like, how are you doing, Alex? And Alex is like, I'm fine. Like, he's trying to go home. And she's like, well, I have been having... And it's like, bitch, what about you? Like, who cares?
But later we get the
Stupid
context
child.
that Alex is a ride or die little nigga that was trying to protect his people. Because his aunt showed up and took over these motherfucking parents as husks and literally had them stabbing himself in the face, having the kid understand, bitch, if you tell anybody, I'm gonna make them kill themselves. I can make them eat each other. She says shit like that. And, then this woman is stalking him and following him. And he's like, I'm fine, bitch. Get away from me. I'm fine, bitch. And then she's like, oh, no. And then she goes stalking the kid for round 2 into his backyard.
Yep.
There's a scene in the middle of the night where, because she's drinking, and this is what the movie keeps showing us. Oh, she's acting like this because she's drinking. And, okay, plot. Okay, because she's going through it. So she wakes up in the middle of the night after, like, a stakeout where she's stalking outside of this little nigga's house. And in the middle of the night, she doesn't wake up, sorry.
No, she
In the
does
middle
not.
of the night, the door opens to the house, and the parent comes out,
I think
obviously under control.
I think it may have been Gladys, actually, because of the hair.
I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I think it may have been Gladys in that scene. That was creepy as shit, too.
So she comes out in the middle of the night, she grabs some of this bitch's hair.
Yeah, she cuts it off and then leaves. Like, she doesn't harm her at all. She just comes out, takes hair, all creepily like.
It's not a bad shot where we just
Not at
see
all,
her
not at
in the
all.
front seat, and we can see the person moving past the window. Then we can hear the car shaking around as the door opens and then closes.
Yeah.
Then we see the scissors come into the frame, go onto her forehead, snip the hair off, and then creepily like slink out of the frame. And this bitch is drunk, so blah blah blah. Bro, the execution, man, felt like by the end of the movie I was ready to really laugh my ass off with all these kids going crazy. But
The unknown, in the face of the unknown, how do we deal with things? That was very interesting to me. I was locked into this movie the first half of
Faye88 says, Space Ghost, it's not our fault. I'm sorry that everybody that we know is dying. We're getting older. It happens.
it. I was so
The end of the movie was kind of fun because it was like a bunch of little kids chasing an old lady. But she had it coming. Fuck her.
locked in. I was loving it. I loved the dialogue scenes. It felt so real and natural. There was like humor, but it was just very weird and unsettling. And then it kind of reveals what it is. And at that point, I was like, oh, this is fine. It's just not what I expected, nor is it what I really love to see in movies. So it was kind of like, I really feel like if I watch this movie again, knowing what it becomes in the
I think if Anil's still here, I want to say this to Anil. This might have worked so much better as a special.
Yeah.
As some sort of like TV special. The movie pushes its runtime upwards of a half hour more than I think it needs. And that's what lost me. And it wouldn't be perfect. It wouldn't be amazing. It wouldn't be the greatest thing ever, but it might scrape into something I recommend territory. Yeah.
second half, I'd enjoy it a lot more. But again, a lot of like movie reviewers were so subjective. I think that's something that it's important to admit, that all of us, we come into a movie kind of knowing what we want and expecting something in a certain way. And when that doesn't happen, it can be, disappointing. This movie,
I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting people to not be fucking capping. What is the thing that I retweeted earlier today say? Everyone was screaming for 30 seconds when this scene happened. Absolutely not.
Yeah, the people's children.
What are you fucking talking about? No part of this movie was like that.
underwhelmed me a little bit. Of course, I had high expectations compared to Barbarian. I had no expectations. I had high expectations going into this, and I expected something that would wow me, unlike anything. It delivers something that's impossible, which is like, how do you answer this question satisfyingly? I'll get into spoilers and how that answers, how that question is solved. But suffice to say, this movie is basically a comedy. Was not very scary to me. There are some good horror moments. The premise itself is kind of the scariest part, and then it becomes, gosh, I don't want to get into spoilers, but it changes tone a lot. My favorite parts of the movie didn't have anything to do with horror. It just had to do with following these characters. Alden Ehrenreich's cop character, very similar in way, kind of like the dark opposite of John C. Reilly's character in Magnolia. Justine, their relationship, how that works. Archer.
Anyway, what would you say the most confusing shot in the movie was for you?
I'm trying to think, so come back to me.
Okay, you remember the gun over the house?
Oh my gosh.
What am I
thank
not
you.
putting together?
I don't think there was anything to put together. I think, unfortunately, that's remnants, a remnant of like another iteration of this movie that was left in it for a very confusing fucking reason. Like, it made no fucking sense. It made no sense at all. At all, at all, at all.
I'm so sorry. Let's go, dude.
As a character, I thought was very amusing. I like Josh Brolin. I just like watching him on screen. You'd expect a movie like this to be a lot more like soaking in trauma and about trauma. And I guess it is in a way, but it's not like a movie closely following the despair of people with missing children, you know? Like that's, I could see another filmmaker approaching this topic in a very grim, like hurts your stomach to watch. This movie is like a kind of a fun roller coaster of fear and laughter. All right, maybe I should just get into spoilers because I do want to talk about this. But before I get into that, I just want to say the directing, the filmmaking is very confident. It's very good. I like the way that Zach Cregger.
Yeah, it's competent. It's fine. There's nothing wrong. He did a great job. It is So, okay.
Moves the camera. It's definitely far and above most horror movies coming out today. I absolutely recommend people go see it in theaters and make.
You remember when the kid had to feed all of the kids in the basement because in their trance-like state they couldn't eat, so he needed to be spooned.
The sequences with Alex the kid were the most sad, and I think the most actual horror leaning.
Well, they're horror lean,
Because-
sweetie. They affect us a little bit more because we had childhoods where we needed to repress a bunch. Do you get what I'm saying? I think for a lot of well-adjusted motherfuckers, they don't really look at it like that. They just look at this kid needing to shut the fuck up about his thing that he's doing so much as, or I'm not saying that the burden that he's carrying isn't apparent, and I'm not trying to cut you off. I'm just saying, I think I couldn't even. I couldn't even feel bad for this kid without realizing, oh, he's got to go to the grocery store and buy enough soup for a classroom full of kids and his parents. And that's not weird.
I love that because 2 new victims joined the whole team towards the end of it. He looks like a little like tired and exasperated, like an adult. Like I have to get more food for more people. Fuck.
More
damn
mouths
it.
to feed in this
Yeah,
husk house.
More mouths to feed. Thank you, Aunt Gladys.
Make up your mind. I was teetering on the edge of giving this a 4 out of 5 stars, but I really think my heart is at now like 3.5.
Ooh.
Wow.
Why were you going to give it a 4 out of 5, buddy?
What bumped it
These
down?
seem like favors to this nigga that y'all like. I like Whitest Kids You Know guy, but if this were the directorial debut, I would be kinder because you have to be safe and secure your future. But if you made another movie that people are saying was a little bit better than this and whatever Barbarians is, then what the fuck are we doing? Why is this still kind of like, by the, you know, you do better, Kyle, nigga. Just because I'm not a chef doesn't mean I don't know what burnt food tastes like, and I don't know what everybody else is capping over. You understand? I don't need to be a chef to know if we put some dirt on some plates and sent them out to the tables and everybody said, this is 100%, 10 out of 10, I've never had a fucking dish better. It's like, okay, well, you know.
I really wanted to like this movie more, and it let me down a little bit. It underwhelmed me in its conclusions and what it ended up doing. Like, it has very interesting stuff it's saying, but I wish that it had developed things a little more, characters.
So here's what I really want to say. To anybody that may be thinking you guys had high expectations because of things you were reading, because of people talking shit. Yes, people were glazing it. So what, they said 100% doesn't mean you should have went in there expecting this to be the creme of the de la creme. It's your expectations that made you dislike this movie. Love to play devil's advocate because I really want to get in your mouth with an understanding of what the fuck is really hood. And this is what's hood, okay? When a game called No Man's Sky came out, they lied so much. They did so much lying. Okay? And when the shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
They started pretending that our expectations were high, as opposed to you people telling mad lies. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the case. It's not the true. And I feel the same way about this. I'm sorry. Because I want to go deeper into the No Man's Sky thing, but I need to calm down and stay on this.
Themes. In some ways, it leans into comedy too much, in that I just was kind of pulled out of caring that much about what happens to these characters. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars or a 7 out of 10. Yeah, let's get into spoilers. I have a lot to say about this. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. You've been warned. It's a witch movie. It's a creepy witch that takes the kids into a house. There are things that, as I watched this movie, I was going, this doesn't, like, very implausible stuff that kind of pulled me out. But again, you have to suspend your belief. Like, it wants to be very real about the characters and exploring these relationships, but also it just wants to be a goofy evil witch movie, which I found kind of fun and refreshing. And I do think that there is a lot being said just about tragedy, especially relating to children, and how our culture is about protecting children, while at the same time there's gun violence and horrible school shootings. And this movie clearly is drawing parallels to that. People have been talking about this for a while, ever since the premise of this movie came out. It's called Weapons, you know, and it's about a classroom of kids that are gone. I'm glad that Zach Cregger didn't make this like an overt metaphor movie about gun violence and school shootings. That would have been wrong. I think not wrong. It just would have been unsatisfying, and like, all right, that movie exists. People can make that movie, but it wouldn't be like exciting and different and fun. And I think that's what's great about this, that it is exciting, different, and fun. There's tangents that it goes down. There's characters you don't expect to follow, like the drug addict character who is on the streets, and we follow his journey and everything. Like, there's a very similar scene where he breaks into the creepy house with the parents just sitting there on the couch. It's a very similar scene to that one in Barbarian where Justin Long, it keeps investigating the tunnels under the house. The audience being like, what are you doing? Like, don't you see the red flags here? Just get out. I will say my audience was not.
So he's literally saying that there's a lot of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Do you remember our favorite part of the movie?
Which one?
It's when the kid stepped over the salt after being told not to.
Oh, yeah.
And the way that it shot too is like one of the most, I'm gonna do it. You know what I mean? And it's so great. Don't I have a button for that? That's the wrong button, dude. Try this again. Okay, I don't know why you keep putting things in.
Fred's in the other room trying to kill himself.
I'm gonna do it, Shaggy.
I need to get in there and help him.
I'm gonna freaking do it, Shaggy.
They save Fred, so it's all fine. Go watch Come On, Scoob if you're worried about him being saved. They save him. It's fine. He's saved, baby.
He's saved, baby.
Not vibing with this movie as much as I was.
Vibing.
I kind of wish I had a better audience. I think that people were kind of like, this isn't that scary. This isn't like... The movie that this movie is so similar to of recent years is, of course, Longlegs. Starts as kind of like a investigation, which this movie has that investigation element. And then halfway through, there's a reveal of what's actually happening. We're shown sort of everything, and everything's explained in detail. And there's a very campy, over-the-top, evil character performance. In Longlegs, that was Nicolas Cage. And in this movie, I don't remember the actress's name, but she gives a terrific performance as this witch character who just shows up. I kind of like that. I do kind of enjoy that her presence wasn't really explained. It is revealed when this character goes into the house who's trying to get, drug money. He sees where the kids are, and they're just all standing in the basement. Everyone's in the audience is just like, oh. And as soon as that reveal happened, I was like, oh, interesting. And then I was like, oh, that's it? Like, and that's where maybe my expectations are wrong. And my ideas about this movie is like, the premise of the movie kind of lies to you. And that's what frustrated me a little bit. Even the start of the movie starts with that opening narration that ends with, all these kids vanish and they never came back. It's on the poster. It's in the trailers. They never came back. They do.
Right.
Yeah.
We forgot about that. They never came back.
And then they do.
And then they do? It's so hard when talking about a movie that bounces off of you, not to end up having people respond, well, you went in there looking for something. You know what I mean? I went in there looking for anything. And what we got was like, whoa, you're at odds with yourself. You know what I mean? You've thrown a knot on the table. Maybe we were looking for rope that we could knot ourselves. You guys know all about knots, don't you? Stop it.
You come back. they're changed and apparently have some kind of like brain damage or something connected to witchcraft, but they do come back. So it's kind of
My nigga Anil said all of Barbarian was like a "what are you doing" situation. We just like the Justine teacher kind of following this kid when everybody's telling her, leave this kid alone. And the reason it's kind of like nails on a chalkboardy is because the town naturally suspects you.
Yeah.
Because your class went missing out of this whole school except this one kid, and you're going to his house, you're following him, you're breaking onto his property and looking through his back fucking yard.
The principal also said it's not professional for you to be doing what you do with the students.
Yeah, he has a line about how like you shouldn't be hugging the kids, and she's like, what are you gonna do? I want to hug a kid. And then she's like, it's not professional for you to give them rides and stuff like that. And it's not. It wouldn't be okay for a teacher we want to get crazy about. It ain't okay for her either.
Because it's not like they're inherently
Bad.
sinister things.
Yes.
But you are an adult and they are a child. The most you should be doing is like contacting the parents, and if the parents aren't picking up, it's time to call the cops. You know, CPS. I don't know, but after that, that is out of your hands. It should not be something you should be like really getting hands-on on. You know, you're just a teacher. Get people that can actually help these kids in case they are in trouble or something.
Son of a bitch.
lying to you about what happens in the movie. And that's like, look, that's a nitpick, but for me, I was kind of hoping, okay, well, how do they deal with this premise of the kids never come back? What is going on? How do we reach a satisfying conclusion? And I was kind of hoping for something that would be a little frustrating of like, you never really know. Like the terror and the fear of the unknown of these mysteries just leading nowhere, like that maybe they just don't know what happened to these kids. And I think that'd be way more scary, at least to me. I think that'd be a less commercial movie, and it's definitely a totally different movie than Zach Crager was trying to make. So I can't even blame him. I'm just talking about where my expectations were and the kind of movie I'd have wanted to see. This is fine too. It becomes like a monster movie with zombies and witches, and that was...
Jace said Weapons is about 2:17 a.m. demon time. I thought the witching hour was 3 a.m. What does Kyle know, right? And again, just a witch going, you know what? It's time for all of ya to come do my bidding. What the fuck? I thought she was going to try to use them to get younger or not be sick or something.
That was also something we were both speculating.
Something that was nice and unresolved.
Yep. We don't get a lot of explanations out of that lady, who she really is, because apparently it's supposed to be the aunt of the mom. But even the dad admits the fact that she doesn't even know who the fuck Aunt Gladys is, so it's just random old lady claiming that they are your aunt, so come bring them home because they're very sick or some shit, they're dying. And that's how that whole thing starts.
Listen to what Nerdrotic wrote. Weapons is seriously cool. Reminded me of a brilliant episode from any of the horror anthologies back in the day. Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, Friday the 13th, etc. Deliberately creepy and fun.
Uh-huh.
Deliberately creepy and fun. Don't believe he said it, Anil? Check it out. Check it out, Anil. He said Tales from the Dark Side. He's talking about this Weapons movie. You like that? How you feel about that? It's a ripoff of Long Legs. Can I take my 13-year-old to it? Barbarian should have got more praise, I feel. Justin Long was in that too, Dia?
Yes.
Oh my god. He must have loved him because of Jeepers Creepers and wanted him.
Or Tusk.
Are we for real?
Yes.
Anyway, please, dude, please. Little known fact, Pedro Pascal was originally slated to star in Weapons in the Josh Brolin role, but he just couldn't squeeze it in. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh man, we couldn't get the Pascal.
Fun. You know, it's a fun movie. I wish that it leaned more in. There's a moment that is kind of Lynchian and mysterious where Josh Brolin's character is having a dream and he goes and he sees the house that where all the kids end up being.
Lynchian? Why'd he just be throwing that word around? Now, I would imagine the feelings that David Lynch acquainted some of these motherfuckers with should reside in a special place, in a holy place inside of them that don't just get ripped out for anything. This nigga had a dream. And we get the reveal that he's been sleeping in his son's bed. So we get it. Distraught parent, missing his kid, obsessing over the last fucking footage of your kid running off into the middle of the night. We're here for it, man. You're in this dream, you go stumbling off into the night, but bro, he goes to the house, man.
In the dream, man.
And he wakes up on that, literally, he's like us now. He's like a, you know, a person that's putting things together. The script is allowing him to do that now. So he's looking at towers based on what he saw. He's triangulating directions in which people ran. He's hoping that he can go to other people along this path and see if he can get their footage to see if we can just correlate where these things went. In real life, Dia, these distraught parents would have pooled their fucking footage. Maybe not immediately, but after the police seemed like they weren't doing anything or getting anywhere, they would have come together. There's some shots toward the end of the movie that make it abundantly clear that there are moments where those kids are just almost together running down the street.
Exactly.
Yes, it could be dark, but that nothing was being seen? Oh, you got Ring cameras? At one point I'm thinking to myself, this is like a fucking Ring camera commercial? And they just don't work at nighttime for the. You know what I mean? This is why we don't put the technology in the movie, because you can't make the technology sort of work, nigga. It either works or it doesn't. What are we doing? Whatever, man. It's these people that are triggering me. What are you bringing up David Lynch's name for? You people are crazy, man.
And he looks above the house, and there's a giant CGI AK-47 or assault rifle or something, and the time of when the kids vanished, 217 is on it, and it's like, what is? That was like my peak interest in the movie, because I'm going, are we doing something weird and Lynchian and like?
No, it was just bullshit. And in context, now that it's over, it was confusing. And I was right to dismiss it when we saw it, because I expect nobody to do anything good.
Yeah, it went in one ear and out the other when we watched it, because I completely forgot about that.
Because imagine if they gave significance to the fucking 217, like she needed to reach that amount of people for her plan or some shit, and the kids as weapons were great. Well, why stop there? Why not have him go into the other classrooms and get all those other stupid kids? Because it doesn't matter if they're adults or not, clearly.
Yep.
Giant fucking automatic weapon over the house, floating with the time on the gun that they all went missing. What are we doing?
Holy shit. I feel like we're forgetting other scenes that were also just like a what the fuck.
I feel like I'm being rude, because I know somebody's gonna watch this and be like, I liked it, and I'm glad that you liked it. There's nothing wrong with the movie. It was serviceable, and I agree, it wasn't bad. But the reason Dia and I wanted to watch it is because of how hard people are capping, bro. You getting money to cap for this horror movie, bro? With my fingers bent? You know how hard I think this nigga wanted to go with that witch character, but he wasn't allowed to?
Exactly.
That's what I think, bro.
That's what I keep telling you, is that I think there was an iteration of the...
Where that bitch was offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did not get to see it, because somebody in the studio must have, like, intervened or some shit, and said, look, we'll get more ticket sales if this isn't R-rated. And he went, okay. You know? Because if it had been R-rated or X-rated or whatever, less people would have been able to, like, go in and watch it potentially, because, oh, you know, you have to be an adult to watch it, but also it could have potentially limited its release, some kind of bullshit like that, where they wanted to make their money back and they weren't going to be able to if they released how the movie or how the story would have actually gone had it not been tampered with.
So let's talk about how that is so far out of line with what we wanted New Line Cinema to continue to represent.
Well, now, darling,
It is Discovery Warner.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, we could have gotten Joan Waters the movie, but instead.
The tragedy is this to me, is that Final Destination is the kind of movie that took a chance on some bullshit. And it is still happening today because there's an audience for it. Now, I would agree there is definitely an audience for Weapons based on the people capping and, like, you know, the people who walked out of that satisfied for the most part. Now I'm comparing it to other New Line Cinema movies, babe. So fuck off. I need to not. It's crazy that Edward Norton's American History X was a New Line Cinema movie. Austin Powers, Friday, with Ice Cube before he's making dog shit like fucking War of the Worlds. 7, In the Mouth of Madness. In the Mouth of Madness, dude. Anyway, let's continue with this. I apologize.
Things aren't going to be explained, and like metaphor, just imagery leading to unknowns. Like I was just, obviously I love David Lynch, but I was kind of hoping for something that would be less conclusive and less like, well, there you go, it was an evil witch. And then once we get into the story of the little kid who we see what happens and what was really behind all the kids vanishing, the kid's aunt shows up and then suddenly she's possessing the parents, using them to heal herself or get younger, and she ends up needing all of the kids in his classroom to basically heal herself or whatever. And it's like very creepy and unsettling, and I think the kid gives a pretty good performance. But at that point, the mystery is solved, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I get it, there's a witch, and she's going to take the kids, and then let's see what happens next. And the finale of the movie is kind of like an action movie. I like when Josh Brolin keeps fighting the possessed guy who just keeps coming for him and keeps attacking him over and over, like there's nothing he can do to stop. It's like a super entertaining movie. It's like a horror comedy, and I really loved the ending. Some people...
That point is entertaining. The end of the movie is entertaining.
The third act of the movie is where it genuinely gets good.
And for me, it feels like more than the third act. It feels like a fourth act. Not because it is, but because here's the movie from the Justine teacher's perspective. Here's the movie from the dad's perspective that lost his kid. Here's the movie from the cop's perspective. Here's the movie from the junkie's perspective. Then we get the kid. By the time the kid is involved, it's like, this is the part I want to watch. I want to see what's going on. I care with the junkie when he gets to the house, because they lead the junkie that's doing anything for a fix. They set him up so properly. He shows up in the scene after the cop scene where the cop busts this nigga in the face because he said, "You got anything in your pockets?" when he's arresting him. He says no. He jukes himself with the fucking syringe. And then he busts him in the mouth, and he realizes, oh shit, he caught himself on the dash cam. He lays this kid on the ground and says, hey man, you know, if I see you again, it's going to be problems. But I fucked up, you fucked up, I'm going to let you go. Consider this a warning. That's the end of that. Don't let me see you again. Okay? And then, Dia, we get the junkie's perspective. He's smoking crack. He's stealing out of a fucking car that's unlocked, taking a little kid's like iPad and fucking CD or iPod or whatever. Excuse me.
God bless you.
And he's trying to pawn it. Thank you. And then he just ends up at the house where all of this shit is going down, and he breaks in and he finds the husks of the parents just like not responding. These could be dead people for all he knows. And what does he do? He resumes stealing. Hilarious.
Yeah, he don't care.
Ends up in the basement, sees all them kids. Oh, shit. And then what, Dia? He wants to get the reward for those missing kids after he gets out to go pawn the shit he just stole from that house. And it's like, bro, I want to get that money for them kids.
And when they arrive, because the cop goes in to investigate, he's like, hey, sir, you're not going to take the money, are you? And then just keeps shouting about the money as he is being left in the cop car. What a stupid little bastard.
Oh, thank you. Sorry about the sneeze. Thank you, man.
Yeah, God bless him.
Jesus, hell. So let's go.
People have said they don't, but I also saw the ending coming a while ago. As soon as Josh Brolin in the movie said something like targeted weapon when he's talking about Wong's character who attacks Julia Garner earlier in the movie, he's like he was a weapon like designed to like a heat-seeking missile or something like that. And then I went, oh, so the kids are the weapons. Like that's how the title works. And the kids become weapons, and the kids are going to be weaponized to some extent in the.
It's like, I want you to know something, honey. When that Alex card came up, everybody watching this movie says, finally.
Yeah.
Let's see what's really hood. We know some shit is going down. And we know it's all going down in that house. And it felt like the best part was when the junkie finally goes in the house. Because they gave us the little tease with the teacher bitch sneaking into the backyard, looking through the window. You see these two people just sitting on the couch, not moving. You know what's up. You know what's up. You piece together what's up right then and there, and then we got like 30, 40 minutes to sit through before we get back to this house. The end of the movie works. It's a nice and solid payoff, hilarious at some points.
The film. I don't know why or how, but it turns out that at the end of the film, the kid, he does the witchcraft thing with the stick, and he breaks the stick, and all the kids who are in the basement go and chase after the witch. And there's this very hilarious. My audience wasn't really laughing though. I felt like the only one laughing. I'm like, I wish my audience really vibed with this movie. I feel like that would have helped my enjoyment so much. I feel like they were kind of tonally confused. I loved that they chased down the witch and literally tear her limb from limb in a very gory sequence. And to me, that was like a catharsis. Like I enjoyed that element of the movie so much that it feels like a catharsis for.
It wasn't that funny. You can't blame an audience for not laughing because it's not that funny. It's not like they were confused and didn't know how to feel. It just wasn't that funny. The first part of the movie I smiled was when my nigga Josh Brolin goes up to the door and is like, hey, can I see the footage of your kid when he runs out the last time you ever see him? And she's like, no, bitch. And then he's like, all right. So then he waits for the dad to come home, and it's Justin Long. And he goes, hey, Justin Long, I loved Jeepers Creepers. He doesn't say that. And then he goes, can I see your kid? And then it hard cuts to them in the house with her in the frame with her arms folded, like, you know what I mean? And it's great, dude. That's funny. You don't even need to have her say anything, blah, blah, blah. But, dude, we have scenes in this movie where it's like two gay men.
It's the principal.
Yes, the principal and his gay boyfriend. At one point, they wearing matching Mickey Mouse shirts. And that came so close to being woke because I loved when the witch comes to the door of the principal who had met her in a scene previously, because he set up some kind of thing with Alex's parents. He needed to speak to Alex's guardians.
I think it was because of Justine.
Yeah, Justine's on that bullshit. Jesus.
Who now, he's like, well, potentially I'll have to call CPS, but I don't want to do that. I just want to talk to the dad, make sure that everything's fine, and everything will be fine.
So then the witch, the aunt, comes in instead of the guardians because she's got them all zombied out, which made a lot of sense immediately after all of those kids disappeared.
Yep.
But now, come on. So I love it. They get to the gay people's door, and he's like, can you get the fuck out of here? But then the other guy's like, no, oh, come on in. We'll get you some water. A bowl of water.
And Marcus, the principal, was like, oh my gosh, I don't want this lady in our house.
This concept of school shooting, mass loss, like how do you cope and deal with this? And it feels like a wish fulfillment thing, kind of like a Tarantino at the end of Inglourious Bastards or Django Unchained. Like what if in the wake of these horrible tragedies that are unexplainable and awful, there is some evil witch behind the scenes and all the kids can have their their revenge. So in that sense, it was kind of.
I wouldn't even call it the kids getting their revenge, because you and I, watching the movie, might have believed that at the end, when everything goes fine, that we have two variable or like paths that we take. The first path is this: Alex dies in sacrifice, figuring out how to break the trance and get those kids to go kill the bitch, right? Yep. That releases the parents from the trance, but the parents have already killed the kid because he went crazy. The parents went crazy on him because he crossed the salt, blah, blah, blah. And that's kind of like a bleak ending, and that's where we end it. But the kids are broken out of the trance. Here's how the movie ends, guys. The movie ends where the kids are still effectively in the trance, and there's no way to free them.
Yeah, they're like in a vegetative zombie state.
And so are the parents.
Yep, and they have to go into like
a home.
Yeah, a home to be taken care of. And apparently...
And the voiceover says the parents are still getting spoon-fed soup or something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't have to feed him anymore or some shit like that.
But somebody does.
Yeah, but somebody does. I think the kids kind of finally come back-ish after a year.
Some of them even learned how to talk again.
Yeah, like, what the fuck, dude? Emil said, I like House of a Thousand Corpses. I feel like I could never like that movie because... Well, first of all, it's a Rob Zombie movie, I believe.
What do you want to ask me about the movie? If any of you have seen it, what do you want to ask me? If any of you haven't seen it, what do you want to ask me? And if you don't care, I guess I kind of get it. A pup named Scooby-Doo. I'm very sorry, guys. Let's finish this.
Kind of a beautiful moment.
I enjoyed this guy's review in a big way, I guess, you know.
Yeah,
there
oh my
he goes.
God.
What?
The face down there.
What?
It's of Benedict Wong.
Where?
See?
Oh my God. Ryan Holliger, the real tragic meaning. The real tragic meaning. Oh my God.
No, not now.
Ugh.
But I'd love to hear what the fuck he believes in his infinite fucking wisdom.
Right? These fucking people, dude.
I'm so smart.
Oh my God. You know they
so
must have
smart.
trained like dog shit AI to think like them and whip up just the fucking queerest scripts. Yes.
I made my YouTube video on this, yes.
Oh my God. So, True Silver Wolf says, if the kids can come back, then why can't the parents return to normal? Unless it takes twice the time for them to break their stupor. It's a real question, isn't it? It's a real humdinger. You know? Anil says, so why was she keeping them there? What was the witch waiting for? We don't know. We don't get to know.
Yeah, again, there was barely any amount of explanation, backstory, and understanding of anything when it came to Aunt Gladys. So, I think that is to its strength, not detriment, with how little information we get about the witch.
Yeah, because anything we could create would be a thousand times more interesting than whatever they were gonna fucking give us. So, Darth Solo said, worth the theater or wait for streaming? I'd wait for streaming, dude. The only way this is enhanced in the theater is if you rolling with 20 niggas deep and all of y'all gonna be clowning on this movie, dude. I'm so sorry to say it that way, but I gotta hit you with like frat rules, dude. Unless you going with like your boys or some people you are almost, and it's like you don't want to be those people in the theater unless you're the only ones there, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Watch this in a comfortable setting if you're gonna. The end of the movie, the very end, is pretty funny. It's pretty funny. The very end of the movie, though, bro. And I'm telling you, when that boy steps over the saw, it's like, bitch, we told you not to do what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? He
has a real kid moment.
Yeah, but I guess he understands what he's doing, and he was going to break the spell.
Yeah, he must have thought...
Which is why, for us, it almost feels organic that he dies as sacrifice. And everybody snaps out of it. That's like a kind of tragic ending where everybody's okay, but the kid survives, the parents live in stupor, and the implication is the kids do too. I like it if they all get better, and this almost keeps happening.
What, like it?
Yeah.
Where it just keeps happening every so often.
That's how you set up the sequel. It just keeps happening.
It felt almost like a shittier version of Hansel and Gretel.
I think the movie had some funny issues, but yeah, I don't know. keeps happening. I'm thinking about sequels now. Is that what I'm doing? Anyway.
Well, no. He already spoke about wanting to do a sequel up to this.
Okay, so Welted Maxman says, Kyle, what does the title have to do with the movie? What do you think the title has to do with the movie?
I think the very end with Aunt Gladys. I think that's literally it. I think that is literally fucking it. It's stupid. It makes no fucking sense. But I think
we want to believe that she did this because she thought those motherfuckers were going to make her better because she wasn't well.
Yeah.
And was like falling. Yeah, she's like dying. So we wanted to believe that these kids were somehow going to, you know, prolong her life or fix what was wrong with her. But in reality, it just felt like she was gathering an army of husks that she could then dispatch to kill. But we're not seeing any healing. We're not seeing you bloodletting and drinking or healing yourself. We do see that you can act all ginger and peppy and, you know, full of energy when you're talking to people, but it didn't look like you were getting better.
Yeah, like, what was the purpose
at all? Fuck me, man. The fucking floating gun. Kill me. That's why I almost want to watch something else. But it's like, I don't want to be streaming this for a million years. Kyle, what does the title name have to do? And I'm sorry I can't answer it, because the movie doesn't either. I hate those kinds of people. The real meaning you're all missing. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Let's see. We should put analysis after weapons and see what somebody has to say. See if we agree with that. Retro says, Kyle, do you and Dia prefer supernatural horrors or regular ones?
I like a little bit of everything.
I'm going to say I like both, too. It's about how it's executed.
Yes, that's unfortunately the biggest problem when it comes to horror, is that the execution of the thing is everything. You could have the most milquetoast, shitty fucking premise, but if you execute it right, dude, oh my gosh, it's fucking phenomenal. But I think as someone who... I don't want to say is super about getting some kind of gratification for my time watching a horror movie where I need to see a shit ton of people die and so many special effects and all this shit. I used to not appreciate suspense horror movies as much because they are very slow paced, very deliberate. They're really building up to this one final confrontation with whatever thing is happening in the horror movie towards the very end. And this was definitely that. In the second portion of the first act of the movie is first is the teacher Justine, and then the second portion of the first act is the dad Archer. And in that portion, we get to see this creepy ass fucking encounter with the principal, and it's fucking great, but it's so little in between that sequence, and then when you finally get to experience it through the point of view of Marcus, the principal, it's like it happens so into the movie that you almost forget that is a thing that happens, and then you get this is how it went down. And then, you know, the lead up to him doing what he does, tries to do to the teacher. Like, it's great when it gets to it, but in between all of it, it is trying to build suspense and all of this atmosphere, but it falls so boringly flat that it doesn't build any suspense. You're just waiting for the next really cool sequence out of these people, and most of it doesn't happen until the very end, and then again there is the sequence towards the beginning with the principal, and you're like, holy shit, that's so cool. And then you have to wait like another 30 minutes to get to another cool portion of the movie, and then all the way at the end.
There's a reason I keep bringing up Final Destination, and it's almost like, is this what I wanted out of the movie, for some crazy shit to just keep popping off? Not necessarily. I
Exactly.
appreciate the build-up. I appreciate the suspense. I appreciate the pieces that you kind of leave on the trail, whether they are in the direction of what may actually happen or they're leading us astray, as long as they keep us guessing and keep us along for the ride. This made me want to get off the ride several times. And you know what it's like to have your phone burning a hole in your pocket when you are checking out of something. That's what was happening with me here. So you're asking the question, do I prefer supernatural horror or regular ones? And I was a piece of shit in saying, oh, well, I kind of like both. But that's not what you asked, so I'm going to try to give you an answer quickly, just to say, I do think there's a lot of gangster and the reality of a genuine horror where it's not supernatural. Maybe the same way girls are watching serial killers or people that escape and don't get caught. The reality of it is what makes it extra creepy. They're out there, blah blah blah. Yeah, I got to keep that shit next to you. Got to stay strapped. You know what I'm saying? Keep an eye on the motion sensors and all of that. But for me, maybe I'm a Jamaican and I'm weird and I love supernatural, bro. So I prefer that for the sake of answering this question to your specification. Because all bets are off. Because there's less rules. And we all like rules. But we all like the unknown more.
Exactly. And I think this movie should have gone through the supernatural route versus more of the suspense route. Because, as he just said, supernatural means you can go fucking balls to the wall with this shit, especially since you're dealing with zombie-esque voodoo shit and a fucking witch. And the fact that they don't go balls to the wall with a witch. How many movies have we had in God knows how long, decades now, where the witch is like such an interesting aspect. She's an actual character all of her own, and you actually get a little bit of a spotlight on her through, the kid and the Marcus portion of the storytelling of this movie. So there could have been so much cool shit happening, and it's not to say that the scenes that they do showcase her are wasted in any way, shape, or form. That are phenomenal fucking scenes because the actress really sells it and you really do feel the tension. But they don't go full supernatural. They unfortunately do try to be a little bit more grounded. Mm-hmm. And that's what that guy was saying, is that they're trying to be not necessarily 100% fucking realistic, but more real, more.
You niggas don't realize. You don't realize that you are circling back to my initial point. So I'm gonna say it to you like this because I'm gonna repeat what you just said. They didn't go balls to the wall. They didn't embrace the supernatural aspect and show. And again, she was a sick witch, so we can throw them that bone. But I'm gonna take you back to what I said initially, and it's like, is this the directorial debut? Because this felt like this nigga played it safe. And yes, you want to secure a future. The studio wants a return on investment. All of these stupid excuses for why this movie isn't having the kind of edgy, crass, filthy, shocking, and absolutely offensive scenes that immortalize you in our culture. Our culture needs you going there at points. Needs the edge to reach a point where some people hate this. It has to be divisive. That's what we're looking for in the movie. This nigga talking about your girlfriend couldn't go see it because it's too blank. Nigga, there needed to be something in here where it was too something for most people. I'm here to tell you, there is nobody in Kyle's audience that could go watch this movie and feel like, how dare he suggest this to me? This part is absolutely deplorable and I can't believe anybody could enjoy this. That's what an amazing movie has.
Yep. But that's not what this movie
is. And that's what, like, you want to talk about Hereditary? Hereditary's got some scenes that would piss people off in there. Shining has some scenes that pull you out of the movie because you're thinking, like, did they treat this bitch well? Something about Shelley Duvall's performance, Dia, makes you go, oh, fuck. Oh, my God. You know what I mean? Wow.
then you find out, oh, because it was, bitch. Because
even
it was.
even in the follow-up to the Shining, what was it called? With Ewan McGregor?
Dr. Sleep.
Dr. Sleep had a scene with the kid.
Yep. Phenomenal fucking.
Can I pull that up without the
even the woke portions of that were
Dr. Sleep kid scene?
Oh, this is like so uncomfortable.
I can't show it to you because the internet and wild and so hold on, I'm just gonna have you like listen to a portion because they bring this kid out and then they start doing whatever they're doing here, and this kid starts. Wait, sorry, I jumped. Okay. Wait, oh my god. Hold on. Oh my god. Okay, what's going on down here? Yeah, I mean, okay, just, so this is the video that this is where, okay, come on, get to the, listen, okay, oh my god, what the bing bong? Anyway, look, I'm just gonna say this. When we were in the theater watching this, it reached a point where I knew somebody on set probably needed to take a minute. There are a lot of sick motherfuckers in Hollywood, but not everybody is about that. Not everybody is about that. This reached a level of discomfort that you knew somebody here was, and this is a really sickening thing to say, but I told Dee at the time, so I'll tell you. It was going to make them relive something. It's going to bring something bubbling back to the surface that maybe they pushed down deep. And these are the scenes that make movies. There wasn't no scenes like this in this fucking movie, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. That's my big problem. Is you need some shit in your fucking movie. And this movie was like, You know what I mean? So, I'm glad that I resonated with this review. But I think it would have been better that we found somebody shilling it. That's what I think. Ligon says Dr. Sleep was ass. Straight booty clumpy shit. Brother, I don't know what I expected out of that movie. But it was fine, as far as I'm concerned. I didn't love it. I don't remember it. But that one scene works for me. Does it elevate the movie? Does it save the movie? Not necessarily.
I did. I loved the movie because it was so schlocky. It really had a bunch of...
Oh, Dia, you know what I hated about that? I hated that one bitch that they chose to be like the leader of the people. They had like this black girl that was clearly just, You know what I'm saying? A lot of nonsense going on with that movie. Yeah, and then I told you what I hated towards the end was that I really wanted them to have Nicholson. I really wanted that. And then remember, I kept saying that if they could just, I don't know, digitally alter him, I would appreciate the movie even more.
Yeah.
There were sequences where I think the kids were like flying or something over the... It was stupid. It was a stupid movie. It was a stupid fucking movie, dude. Yeah. But I wasn't bored. And I could say that I was bored in this movie. So, we're not here to talk about whether or not Dr. Sleep was amazing. Nobody's saying that. I'm saying that that movie for me was more than Weapons was. So you're saying it was mid. If I thought Dr. Sleep gave me more to walk away with, where I'm going to be remembering it, to talk about it years and years and years on, what do you think this movie did for me? What do you think this movie did for me? Nothing. Neil says Dr. Sleep is great as a sequel. We have to wonder if it's a little indulgent towards the end when it goes back to the Overlook.
It's masturbatory.
Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
It's masturbatory for sure.
Anyway, look, I may be able to squeeze in another one. I won't force you to sit and listen through it, but I kind of would love your input, Dia, with whatever next video I look up, because I'm telling you, dude. I'm telling you that whatever they have to say glazing this movie is some shit that you would imagine they are, like, their career. I would love to be one of these people making big money on YouTube, dude. But I just know I can't be fake enough for it. I gotta be me. I can't be fake enough for it. I can't jump through hoops. And when I see some of that curly sideburn shit in these movies, dude, oh my god. Can you, like, instruct harder? And that's, and Dia, how much of it are we fighting, not understanding that's what's wrong? There was probably an incarnation of this thing that we would have loved, but they had to reel it in over and over and over and over and over again. So I'm sorry if I got away from some of you asking something. The 2017 one. Did you watch the dude's other movie, Barbarian? Darth Solo, I'm so sorry for taking this long. But no, I didn't get to see it. And then Turk Retbar was asking, have you watched The Strain? I've never even heard of The Strain. I'm very sorry. Sounds like some shit we do on the toilet. I'm kidding. I prefer Supernatural 2, said Anil. Darth Solo says Friday the 13th started a slasher series, then became supernatural by the fourth film. Well, you know. After bringing Jason back from the dead, well, that's what they wanted to do. That's what they wanted to do. They were eager to do that shit. And it's not like I don't know, you could almost, I'm not getting into it. You see what they do with half of these movies, going crazy, just making shit up. Censored, Mighty Morphin Wild Force. Who the fuck is that going on in the commercials? I don't know what you guys are looking at. Say my name so I'm not missing what you're saying. Let me finish this video and then maybe look at another one.
One's reunited with his
It
son.
can be short too, so that we can get through that even faster than this one.
But it's revealed that the kids aren't really the same afterwards, although the little girl narrator says that some of them are able to talk again. It is kind of a lie in the premise. The kids do come back. They are found. But I do kind of like how it kind of flips it on the head. Like, you think it's going to be one thing, and then it's like this crazy monster movie with a witch and these kids kind of literally destroying the scapegoat or the true, like, evil person. Like, that's what was interesting to me, I guess. And that's what might raise my rating of this movie over time, of, like, it is kind of saying a lot and not saying a lot. It is about, I think, school shooting and violence and, horror in small towns by being about a witch. It is satisfying. There's some good sequences in this movie, but I think people are going to be very divided. I think the high critic rating is going to be misleading to some people, and not all of it works. I do want to see it again, but I still kind of wish, like, damn, that's such a great premise. I wish you had done a little more with it. The whole sequence where Wong brings, or the aunt shows up at Wong's house, who's the principal, and starts, instead of asking for a cup of water, asks for a bowl of water. And as soon as that happened, I was like, wait, is this just like a witch thing? Like, is she just a witch? And that's exactly what happens. And I'm like, man, I don't find her that scary. Like, she's sort of creepy, but I'm like, oh, we're just doing like witchcraft, where she's just like an evil witch possessing people. Part of the enjoyment is just the mystery, and I really wish maybe if they had dragged the mystery out more, or just...
Dia, when she sends this motherfucker to kill, and it becomes clear, like, he's not himself.
Yeah.
He's like a zombie now.
Yeah. He's even making, like...
It feels like so sloppy. Because not only is this high profile, bitch, people are gonna see this. And not only that, but the script allowed Josh Brolin's character to be smart, so he instantly clocked, this is exactly how the kids ran out of the house. I've watched that footage a million times. You would imagine other parents might have as well. Whatever, bro. Let me look up one more. This was this video by this guy, and I appreciated. His name is Woman Carrying Man. Why? Why is that the name of your channel, you son of a bitch? So, let's look up weapons movie analysis instead. Weapons movie analysis. Okay. Now I'm going to read some things to you. Sodesu Master says, good to see you. Good to see you as well. Sorry, it's not highlighting my name. Normally that allows me to see it a little faster.
I wonder why.
Anil says that he respects Dr. Sleep for blending the Shining movie with King's book mythology. He said he has a lady co-host. Yes. Why'd he name the channel Woman Carrying Man, though? Anyway, so I'll go ahead and just name some of these videos, and then you can tell me which you think would be the most entertaining. Okay? Cortex videos. Weapons ending explained. Full movie breakdown. That doesn't seem like what we're looking for, but I'm not sure. Weapons 2025 explained. It's a lot of explained videos when I typed analysis,
Yeah,
I
because
guess.
some people don't get it.
Weapons spoiler review from 3C. Somebody said 3C sold out, but maybe a shill would be more entertaining. Movie review by Jeremy Johns. Filmonger. Behind the scenes. We don't want that. Weapons the Creatures. What are the creatures in Weapons?
I'm guessing because we call them zombies, but they're, you know, it's like voodoo-esque magic that she does.
The creatures? I bet you the script was better.
That's what I'm telling you.
Oh no.
That's what I'm telling you, is that what that guy wrote was probably 1,000 times better than the shit that we actually ended up getting because of studio interference.
They're just saying that, Dia. They're just saying that to make it interesting. Weapons review by Karsten Runquist. Who the fuck is Karsten Runquist? You hear that name, bro? Do you think it's like Zoomer as hell? The second we hear this guy's voice, we're gonna be like, oh man. I'll open that, even though you guys didn't say anything. Screen Crush. Weapons breakdown and ending. Every clue? I'd rather die. You're not understanding. The only explainer you need before Weapons. So nobody was interesting with this. Nobody. Weapons movie review by Deep Focus Lens. Oh my god. No spoiler. Weapons movie review doesn't live up to the hype. The guy's got the bell. Sean Chandler. Phenomenal. Weapons is the most wild movie of the year. I'm Asian man McJonathan Fuji, and I think this is the greatest movie I've ever seen. Can you believe it? You know what I mean? Crazy. Wow. Phenomenal, you said. This guy said scary question mark? That's my kind of dude. That's my kind of dude right there. That's my dude. He said scary? Huh? Which movie? This movie? Anil says one of my faves still is that Tooth Fairy horror movie Del Toro produced. I'm glad. There's some I don't know. There's a lot to love. There's a lot to love. I want a movie that a lot of people can take away different things from. And this doesn't feel like that at all. You are not ready for Weapons. You are not ready 4 days ago. So what should we...
I need to go check and see if that rice is done so I can eat. Do you want some if the rice is done?
No, I'm good, baby.
Okay.
I'm going to want some fish. I'm going to want some fish. So, if you want to...
Do you want me to do that now?
If you want to throw a fish in there for me, I'd appreciate
Just
that.
one?
Huh?
One.
You can make me two if you want. Unless you want one.
No.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah. 2 fishies.
2 then.
Yeah. Why are people mentioning darkness? So you want that Creatures video, guys. Help me out.
I guess so. ARG, dude.
We ain't talking about that.
Really?
Top 10 reasons by Watch Mojo that Weapons is the best horror movie of 2025. Is the bar so low?
No, it's people sucking dick.
I don't know. What kind of fish, Kyle? Tilapia. Jube says, here comes the hail, Kyle. Dia, Anil. Damn, Anil got a shout out. That motherfucker. And that guy has a fox in his fucking message, too. You guys, wow. Leprechaun 2, Back to the Hood. Movies like that ain't getting made no more. Who said Watch Mojo? Like, that's what you want? You want us to go deep on a Watch Mojo video? That sounds insane. You guys are insane. Weapons movie set to wreck Marvel. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yellow Flash said. Theories. Weapons 2025 theories. So nobody we know did this. It's just Angry Joe. And he says, best horror 2025? Wow. You know what I mean? Is the, you know, I'm trying to be nice. Is the horror bar so low? And am I a hater if I want Jordan Peele's movie to not do as well as this? Am I a hater? You know, what they gonna do? Call me racist? Jubei says Kyle got that Bob reboot haircut. Yeah. IRL too. IRL. So here's what I'll say. Nobody reviews movies that we know of in a way that kicks ass. Who's Mr. H? Horror masterpiece. Terrifying. Terrifying? Terrifying, guys? Help! Oh my god! Who the fuck is this person? Why do they look like this? You got a channel called Beyond the Trailer? What are we doing? Weapons movie half spoilers? What the fuck? 50% spoiler-ish. I really believe you're a real woman. I really believe you're a real woman. I'm so sorry. The scariest part of my night was seeing that video. All right, I'm sorry. It's a lot of ending explained videos. We just don't need it. Final thoughts. Culture elixir. I like a final thoughts, but look at her. Look at her. Aren't you just dying to go see that movie? Aren't you just dying to go see this? You know what I mean? Why are you clicking this? What is your problem? What is your
इसको
problem?
देख सके कि एलेक्स सेफ है या नहीं। अब उस रात जस्टिन एलेक्स के घर के बाहर ही अपनी कार में होती है ताकि वो घर पे नजर रख सके। देर रात जस्टिन की आंख लग जाती है और तभी एलेक्स के घर का दरवाजा खुलता है। घर से एलेक्स की माँ अपने हाथ में कैंची लिए
Okay, stop it. You needed to hear it. What's your fucking problem? Weapons movie? Terrifying?
I'm driving in my car while I record this? Question mark out of 10.
Weapons might be the craziest movie of the year. Guys, I've opened up a couple of these, I guess. We don't know anybody who reviews movies anymore. That's the truth. Grace Rudolph? Oh, I feel like I've heard the name Grace before when it comes to movie reviews. But doesn't she have a channel called Grace as a second channel that just deals with trailers? Jesus Christ. Why she look like that? Maybe that's just her normal look now, man. ER reviewed this. E:R. I thought he strictly reviewed garbage television. No, I saw this. This was months ago. And what I love is I bet he'll be reviewing Homestuck. I'll try to review Homestuck. Oh my god. Really upsetting me just thinking about it. There's going to be a Homestuck show. Wow, what's happening? Anyway. Beyond the Trailer is her main channel? I don't like that name. I don't like that name. For a movie review channel? Beyond the Trailer. Who the fuck said Grace is hot? Are you people for real? Alright, man, that's enough. I'm reading with y'all, so that's enough. Grace is the worst, Kyle. I only know her because she actually gets breaking stories and advanced screenings and shit. She's an actual insider. Yeah, who is, fuck me. So, let me... you are not ready. Oh, my God. Okay. Okay. We need to see somebody that is slurping this thing. So we have this one that says phenomenal. Okay?
Never seen anything like that in my life.
What are the creatures? I know some of you must have liked this one.
I promise you, no matter how crazy.
Why is it in like, vertical? Just leave. So this one says phenomenal. This one says WTF? Does it live up to the hype? Okay. Alright. The Naruto Run from Hell. He put it in the title. There he goes. Cody put it in the title. Cody Leach put the Naruto Run in the title. That's what I'm saying. If they commit with that Naruto Run, bro, this could have been the Naruto Run movie. You have to wonder if he wanted to do that. You have to wonder if Jordan Peele did that. If he just pick one, says Anil. Damn. You guys don't like me just taking forever. I really like the name Karsten Runquist. So it's up for you guys to ruin this tonight.
This weekend,
This video is by Sean Chandler Talks About. This video
is brought to you
by Karsten Runquist. This video
So if you're really in
is by Asian man Jonathan Fuji, who says Weapons is the most wild movie of the year now. It's a wild movie of the year now. And this person said, I've never seen anything like this before. Well, I've never seen anything. But it's 30 minutes, so what are we doing? I'm not trying to put us to sleep in here. You know what I'm saying? Smart horror, they say. Jesus Christ. Smart horror. Elevated horror, even. Elevated. Ryan Hollinger made a video called The Real Tragic Meaning of Weapons. So we have The Real Tragic Meaning with Ryan Hollinger. This is The Most Wild Movie with Jonathan Fuji. We have Weapons, ... by Karsten Runquist. And then we have Weapons, Does It Live Up to the Hype? By Sean Chandler. So you guys are going to be the ones to tell me what's up. You know there was also a Watch Mojo one in there that I guess you guys are fucking probably horny for. So one person says Carlston. One person says The Real Tragic Reason. If any of you can line up on anything, we'll watch it. Doesn't need to be a bunch of you. Just needs to be a few of you. Let's line up on one of them. So again, let me throw it out there for you. Maybe the mojo is easy for you to palate. So this says, Watch Mojo, 10 Reasons, Bing Bong. Ryan, The Real Tragic Meaning. Jonathan Fuji, The Most Wild Movie Ever. Karsten Runquist. And lastly, Does It Live Up to the Hype? So 2 people are saying Karsten. You guys like Karsten, huh? And then Abraham said, you better call Tyrone. Call him. What if my man Tyrone is trying to get himself a piece of that white man pie? Just slurping the hell out of these movies for a little bit of that retirement access. Ooh. Please. I think your movie's good too. Give me access. Ooh, I'll bend over just like this. Tyrone been at this a long time. I think the longer you've been in the game, you're not jumping through, hoops, shit. Like, I've been at this for a long time, but I'm crazy. So, I should be sitting on big nest egg, making big money, sponsors, you guys buying me shit. But instead, I'm not getting anything because I'm not licking the balls. So 2 of y'all said Karsten, and that's just the end of it. Because only 1 of y'all said Fuji. Damn, Fuji ain't got no people loving them. Somebody said Karsten, but to be honest, I only know Mojo. So y'all really are going with Karsten, and I may have hyped him up with that name. So I apologize. But here we go.
By Squarespace, the all-in-one
turn
website
this up.
platform for entrepreneurs to stand out and succeed
Oh,
online.
this video is
We are
brought to you
living
by-
in a great time for horror movies. For a few years now.
Ooh, the first thing he brought up when he said we're living in a great time for horror movies is that movie called The Substance. Ooh. That movie was a little gay, you know what I mean?
There's been a group of
Not bad,
filmmakers
not
who have
bad.
been pushing the genre to its limits. I'm talking Robert Eggers, Jordan Peele, Ari Aster, Coralie Farjat.
You are not mentioning this person's name because of one movie. God, this guy is that guy, huh? Holy God. Holy God. Sleep Timer. I didn't even know. I had no idea. YouTube, I had no idea. Oh man, I can do this. You can do this. You can make it through this, Kyle. Let's go, bro.
Julia Ducournau. And someone we gotta add to this list is Zach Kreger. A few years ago, Kreger's...
Zach Kreger because of 2 movies? Barbarians was that good to you?
solo directorial...
He did say Peel, no? Whoa, man, you guys really made a crazy choice. I'm cringing. Shut up and get through
debut Barbarian ended up being one of my favorites of that year. It was a film that started out feeling a little by the books, that ended up surprising me every chance it got. Even when I thought I got the gist, it switched up and turned into a comedy. It was a film made by someone who clearly had the chops, and I couldn't wait to see his next project. And well, it's here. Weapons is here, and it's
switched up and turned into a comedy.
Pardon my French. Fucking crazy. The story goes, somewhere in a small town, a classroom full of kids go missing.
It's not, dude. You guys. No. No, bro. What happened? I think... So it's like these kids came up in a generation of nothing. That's the problem, right? And I gotta get over it. It came up in nothing. And instead of pretending to be somebody that has anything to do with horror or any genre that you want to join a conversation of, you only know recent shit. Yikes.
It's discovered that one night at 2:17 in the morning, they all left their houses and T-posed into the night. That's about as much as you need.
It's not T-posing, it's A-posing. T-posing resembles the shape of the letter T. What's complicated about this?
No, the film stars Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong, Austin Abrams, and Alden Ehrenreich. I do have to note, my showtime for this was at 2:17 in the afternoon, which I did not understand beforehand, but now that it's a good move. Let me ask you this. Did you see Barbarian? Did you like Barbarian? Because if that's the case, chances are you're probably gonna love this movie.
Okay, Jesus Christ. A minute in.
Comedy, bigger, everything. But structurally, it is very much the same kind of roller coaster that he took us on in Barbarian. An incredibly strong first act, a change in perspective about 30 to 40 minutes in, a weird 10 minutes at the top of the third act that uses a unique lens and serves as a backstory in some way, and an
So you did this, you used the same fucking format for another movie you made again. A minute and 40 seconds into this 9-minute video, and it's like, is this movie just that other movie again?
ending. We'll just call it that, an ending. To be clear, I'm not complaining at all about any of this. He had something really good going with Barbarian. I had a really great time watching that movie for the first time.
Barbarian. If it felt like I said that a bunch of times, I'll do it again if he says it again.
Him double down on that, but with some material that's a bit meatier, is honestly great to see. Something I love about Kreger's style is that deceptively by-the-books feel he tricks you with, that he ends up flipping on its head multiple times. At first, both this and Barbarian felt like
Barbarian.
fairly safe horror movies with common horror movie tropes. What I mean by that is jump scares, person knocking at the door, peeking through windows, empty streets. This feels notable to bring up because these days, because high-concept horror has been popularized so much, these familiar ideas, the kinds of ideas horror is built on, often get brushed aside for something more sophisticated and big, something meaningful. Don't get me wrong, I like those kinds of movies. I dig Hereditary and The Witch and Raw and Nope.
Look, all of these movies suck except Hereditary. Can I say that? Whatever they got going on, I hope they really work for that audience in a way where they're remembered. Because let me tell you something, dude. Vibes ain't enough to carry a motherfucking movie. This is style over substance, and you fucking wankers that are down with this shit need to understand it doesn't work for enough people to make a movie work. I think we need to operate in reality and understand that even though Titanic may not work for some of us, it works for most. And we don't need this thing to work for anybody other than you, but I feel these people are so tainted by the time. And it's infuriating, man. It's infuriating. I'm sure my thoughts on The Witch are controversial. I don't care. I don't care, man. Because Witch had me in the first half so hard. You don't understand. Witch had me in the first half. I was loving it. And, you know what I think? I think I'm basic normie enough that if I can guess where your movie's going and I can contribute in a way where I think this might have gone over better, this might have been more entertaining, this might have had more people, you fucked up. I'm too much of a basic normie to have anything to contribute to your shit. So if it fails in a way where it's like, well, what the fuck was this? What if they had, you know what I mean? I think whatever. I know it's controversial. It's not a hot take, it's a rational take. These people are informed by a time that is a footnote. These people are informed by a time that licks our asshole. And it's like any fucking list you can look up. No matter how compromised that list is, these do not sit atop them. They barely make the middle. So if we're strictly talking about this era that you seem to know about, fucker, why can't you dive into the genre, bitch? What the fuck you talking about the shit that happened in the last 10 years specifically? Are you for real? And for you to be reviewing a weapons movie, and all I'm hearing is barbarian. Stop it. Stop it. Stop this cap. It's insane.
Etc. But there is something refreshing and reassuring about what Kreger has done in both of these movies, using traditional horror tropes in ways that still make me squirm and look away in 2025. These tricks still work if done right. Is this feeling enough if there's no greater meaning? This film argues it is. Before I go too far, I do want to gush about the performances just a bit. Fun fact, pretty much all of these actors were going to be someone else before the strike.
Right. The performances. Let's talk. Okay? Let's talk. I wanted to love Gladys. It was merely fine. I don't blame the actress. I blame the performance. I found Paul, the guy at the end, I found his performance personable, but I do not think it was exemplary. I think at the end of isn't this the guy who played younger Han Solo? So I think at the end of the day, when I'm thinking somebody else could have been in this position and it would have been just as, I don't see you bringing something to this so hard that it's like, oh, wow, you knocked it out of the park. I don't think anybody did that. I liked Josh Brolin because he brought the competence that I'm looking for out of somebody in the role that he was playing. So he is at the top as far as I'm concerned. Benedict Wong served a wonderful purpose in the beginning, in the direction of charisma, in the direction of you wanting to, like, not have your guard down, so to speak, around him, but recognizing him as a big non-threat. he was the principal sort of character, and you know, he was kind of shielding the woman when the town was going at her, because you know what happened, our kids are gone, you're the teacher, you know what happened. So he's kind of like this, you know, Barney the dinosaur kind of like nice guy. So in the middle of the movie now, after 2 fake outs that lead to it was all a dream, you waking up bullshit, when you see this nigga running in the street, you almost expect somebody to just wake up and snap out of it. But no, nigga, it's real. Wong is blood fucking covered in his face, and he's running to choke a bitch now. And that was intended to be funnier than it landed. It was actually just like, my word, you know what I mean? Oh, you mean this is actually real? Oh, he's really going for that woman. Well, she kind of has it coming, the drunk bitch. The slut. Fucking that man, and... Well, he did lie. He did lie to her and say that, you know, we're not a thing right now. He's a son of a bitch. The dog. The dog. But no, we want to talk about performances. What performances, homie? Josh Brolin nailed it. Competent city. Benedict Wong was charming. It's almost like they couldn't be if they couldn't be if they tried. And I would say everybody else, and you're gonna hate hearing this word, serviceable. Okay? Serviceable. You're killing me. Performances. I think if you found other people talking about this movie, none of them would say this. So let's move on.
Breaks. I'm talking Pedro Pascal, Renata Rensby, Brian Tyree Henry, and Tom Burke. Of the very good cast we have here, Garner is definitely my highlight. She's one of my favorite working actors, period. If you haven't seen her in The Assistant, I cannot recommend it enough.
Jesus Christ.
Josh Brolin is great, and this just kind of reminded me that I haven't seen him in a minute outside of Dune. We miss you, man. And honestly, Benedict Wong was kind of a standout as well. He's so expressive and fun to watch. Just watching him react to other characters is a good time in itself. Obviously, what he does with his eyes at one point in this is something.
It's probably a mask, motherfucker. Just stop.
Nicholson in The Shining all over again. He has a very Jack Nicholson thing about him where he's not necessarily scary, but his delivery is perfect for horror. And lastly, great child acting here, specifically by Carrie Christopher, who never misses a beat.
It's fine. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Expected nothing less from someone who was in Mank. Technically speaking, I got nothing bad to say. It looks fantastic, it sounds fantastic, it cuts fantastic. I do love how the score for this does that modern horror thing that started in Annihilation, where a note sounds kind of like someone is knocking down the walls of the theater.
He wants to talk about the score. I bet you I could watch a million different videos and nobody's going to mention this. There's a moment when Wong is attacking the bitch at the gas station, and this is what you're hearing in the score. Like some SpongeBob shit. Not joking. Not joking. I'm 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 not joking. If anybody wants to remember me saying this, because you guys I would imagine many people like me could have watched this movie and been invested enough in the scene to not notice this, but this goes a million miles in describing to you how aware and present I was, trying to absorb and soak in every aspect of this movie to appreciate something. There was a moment at the gas station when Wong attacks this bitch where not once, but twice. The movie's out there on the internet, I'm sure. If you want to go fucking look it up, I'm sure you will hear what I am saying. As someone within the music, the score of the song, it's not an instrument that seems to be imitating this. I'm certain what I heard was... That's funny. You know what I'm saying? That's funny. But I'm not sure it was deliberate. I'm not sure it was supposed to sound that insane. Is he mentioning that? No. Top 3 funny things. Maybe Kyle's an asshole because it's all about top 5s and top 3s for me. But you know, when you walking away with something that easily scores top, you putting it at the top of a leaderboard, it's because something was going on. It's because it takes that prize, nigga. What you mean somebody in the score is going, oh, you know what I'm saying? I remember that. I'm going to need to verify that. I walked out of the movie thinking about Wong and his fucking You know, and that frame when that scene when he's running and look, oh shit, you know what I mean? It's hilarious. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Very much worth seeing and hearing this in IMAX if you can. Something I will say.
No.
Is while this is certainly well cut, I do think the structure this chooses to go with, this Magnolia-inspired multiple perspectives thing, makes the film feel a bit longer than it actually is. Maybe it's because the first chapter is significantly longer than a good amount of the others.
It doesn't make it feel longer than it is. It's a 2-hour fucking movie. Bitch. It is a 2-hour fucking movie. Feels long because it is long. Bitch made motherfucker, you're treating this review like an opportunity for you to name drop a million different movies. Oh, this actor was from this, and this actor was from that, and this actor was from this, and I expect no less from this person who was in this. And if you've seen this, then you already know what to expect, and you're definitely going to love it. What about this movie, though? This movie. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just someone who's very used to having a sense of knowing where in a film I am or where in a story I am. And because of how this chooses to go about its structure, I had zero concept.
Yeah, I love to. I'm all about knowing where in the structure of a film I am. You know what I think immersion is? Is fucking you right out of all of that shit. It's a part of The Hobbit where I forget Gandalf exists. So when everything seems lost, when they're about to get fucked up, and then Gandalf shows up, I'm like, oh, Gandalf! I'm immersed. I'm not worried. Oh man, we're reaching the end of the second. No. I'm on this ride. I'm at the edge of my seat. I can't wait. What's gonna happen? I'm biting my nails. You like to know where you are? That's how little these movies hook your ass. You niggas watching this with a clipboard and some fucking glasses at the end of your nose. You know what I'm saying? Fuck off. Fuck off.
Both where things were going or how much longer things were going. And honestly, it's kind of nice to just let go for a little bit. On that note, tonally speaking, this is definitely not what I thought it was going to be, and I'm also not complaining. The film is hilarious. It's a lot funnier than it's...
No, it's not. The film is not hilarious. 3 to 4 moments in the film are hilarious, and depending on who you are, all 4 of those moments are at the very last 10 minutes of the fucking film. The very last 10 minutes of the film are where the funny happens. Thank you for that subscription. I appreciate you. Oh my god. This movie will put your ass to sleep. Weapons doubles as a lullaby. But that's from the black man, you know, not sipping the Kool-Aid. That's from the Jamaican who's seen more than 5 movies in his fucking life, who's seen more than 5 horror movies in his life, who's seen movies that are in the horror genre that are not a part of the last scumfuck decade of woke cancer, where everybody's got to play it extra safe for the hypersensitive fucking autist dweebs who have more time to spend online talking about their Deltarune and their favorite pony in their animated show. Holy fucking shit, shut your fucking mouth, boy. Shut your fucking mouth. That's your whole bitch ass generation. None of y'all niggas know what quality is. So you be glazing everything. Cause all you know is turds. So when something is not a turd, oh my god, it's the greatest thing ever. There's only 2 fucking parts of the spectrum for you. And it's both the extremes. Suck a dick. Suck a dick, man. This guy's not even glazing it as hard as other people. But the reason I wanted to see Weapons was because I fucking knew. It's not what you're saying. It's not terrifying. It's not horrifying. It's not wild AF. It's not the craziest shit of the year. How can it be? I pray there's something that most of us aren't seeing, because how could it hope for a theatrical release with the risks that it needs to take? To resonate, to be a cult classic, to be something that isn't going to be safe enough to make a return on investment, but need to be something that people only see when it is later distributed by someone willing to take a chance on it. Suck a dick! None of you niggas know what art is. And I'm fucking ashamed to share space with you fucking creatures breathing up all the air on this fucking planet. Just send us into a goddamn sun. I'd rather die than fucking lower myself and my standards to you fucking people. You're clowns, nigga. You're scarier than this movie could ever hope to be. Shut up, Kyle. Fuck. Shut the fuck up. God!
If your horror movie is funny, it has to be stupid, like Cocaine Bear or The Monkey. Stupid is fine, but who says a funny horror movie can't feel huge, can't be treated like The Big Boys? Weapons is that movie.
It's huge, dude. It's a huge waste of time.
Proves all of that wrong. This thing feels like a full meal whilst never losing sight of its personality, and once again, I love that. It's refreshing. I would say it's less Magnolia and more Coen Brothers in just how funny...
Wrong.
And sad and scary it is all at the same time. Perhaps the film's greatest strength and weakness is how it handles the intricacies of its plot, balancing all these different characters and keeping it under this one specific umbrella, making it so they all lead to one satisfying place. The film has to be tightly screwed in with barely any room for...
Imagine how slow this nigga talking.
For error for that to work. It succeeds at this and is in the process also a great mystery thriller on top of being a great horror film. But somewhere in there,
let's slow this down to normal speed and listen to this motherfucker talk real quick.
Umbrella, making it so they all lead to one satisfying place. The film has to be tightly screwed in with barely any room for error for that to work. It's
bro. So that I can speed you up to 0.5. And it's a negligible difference.
Succeeds at this and is in the process also a great mystery thriller on top of being a great horror.
Is this what my videos are like? I'm trying to put people to sleep though. You see what I mean? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to put people to sleep. And when I do that, I can take a video and stretch it past like 16, 17, 18 minutes. This is a 9-minute video and you're talking really slow? Okay.
Horror film, but somewhere in there, you do lose that room to breathe. If I wanted anything more out of this, it was getting to know these characters beyond their 2 or 3 most obvious personalities.
Are you fucking kidding? This idiot wants these losers fleshed out more when I'm telling you we needed to trim the fat in this 2-hour movie? I can say without a shadow of doubt, I haven't gotten into Jordan Peele's movies. I think Jordan Peele happened at exactly the right time in the woke era to be catapulted with a bit of that, oh, look, guys. Name 3 black directors. So, what I'm going to say is this. Sorry, I'm like itching myself here. This movie wasn't bad. It's just... it understood that it was playing games with people and what their expectations might be, but more importantly, the awareness that whatever they could concoct might be way more satisfying than this. And in that way, the movie felt like it wanted to be almost as ambiguous as possible towards the end. And this hurts the film. Was the end funny? Yes. Was it a payoff? Sure. What I want to say, I don't know if I should say.
Room to breathe. If I wanted anything more out of this, it was getting to know these characters beyond their 2 or 3 most obvious personality traits. I wanted more from Miss Gandy.
I'll say it. I'll say it. I don't respect Jordan Peele. You understand? Him being wheeled out on stage at a fucking Game Award, I can't get away from... When it's woke, I can't get away from it. You guys don't want to know that, but it's true. Kyle cannot get away from woke. I am deliberately not talking about culture because I could flood the internet like a plague. I don't need to be subscribed to and have all this clout. I inspire the people other people watch. There are people getting ideas from me. And unfortunately, dude, I've learned through throwing some things out anonymously just how hard what I'm about resonates with people. The reality is this. I can't escape woke. I can't.
Come on, Scoob.
Anil, I do appreciate and thank you in a big way for that.
Fred's in the other room trying to kill himself. I'm gonna do it, Shaggy. I need to get in there and help him. I'm gonna freaking do it, Shaggy.
Here's what I'm gonna say. Even though I don't respect Jordan Peele, who has slid his bitch ass into my gaming space, Kojima OD. What the fuck? Oh, there was like a sponsored thing on top of it. So, like, look at this character. You know who this is? This is Hunter Schafer. And for people who don't know, is some dude that they wanted to be the, they wanted this to be the actress for the female character Zelda in the movie adaptation. So this person is in a Kojima game called Overdose, and they had this is like their whole trailer. Is them like looking scared and then screaming. This is their whole trailer. Does this look like it's like substantial? Does it look like art over substance? Does it look like crap? Because that's what it is. But of course they gonna force this motherfucker into your face because they need that shit. They need to do that. This is what you're getting. And during the fucking presentation, they brought out Jordan Peele. Now, I like to be somebody that frames something with so little information that you can either take it or leave it. You're on the fence about what woke is? Nigga, you won't be when you're done with Kyle. Because my gaydar works about as well as... Maybe some of you can tell that a trans artist made certain things by the way that they draw. I can see that people are behind the scenes on some stuff by the way that it looks. Cool. So I'm glad that's settled. Let's get back to what I'm trying to say about Jordan Peele. I think Jordan Peele is more aware than the director of this movie was of what will and won't work as far as people's attention spans. So yes, I am a little triggered hearing this guy say, I'd like for the characters to have been fleshed out more. Are you insane?
Brought to you by-
Are you insane, dude? Hell no. People would hate that. I would hate that. It's wrong. The movie needed to shave more off, not have more fleshed out. Stop it. Stop it, dude. Everything doesn't need to be made for Netflix. Everything doesn't need to be made for TikTok. Everything doesn't need to be quick and give me the pace and blah, blah, blah. Bro, one of my movies that I like is called Audition. And the whole movie, effectively, nothing happens right up until the end. And boy, does that end land. Would I recommend it to everybody? Would I claim that it's the greatest movie and the best movie of the year and all of this shit and it's wild and terrifying and all this shit? No. Because I'm not insane. Why does Carlos say Buenos Noches? Woke infected, Netflix One Piece. Well, you already know. I was never watching any of them live action fucking Netflix adaptations because they already race swapped another character and then they made Nami flat chested. So is your gaydar busted, guys? Y'all was giving shit a chance when they making big titty anime characters flat chested in the live action? Oh, you're just tolerating it? Y'all tolerating a lot, aren't you? Maybe that's why it got so bad, because so many of y'all are just, I'm just gonna, okay, it's okay, I'll give it a chance.
Connection to his son. Not that this necessarily needs anything
that was in the soundtrack
more
of the
to
movie.
Succeed at what it wants to be. That is a ridiculously entertaining horror flick. But it's
ridiculously entertaining because of two scenes. One with Wong, one at the end of the movie. I'm struggling to claim that any other part of the movie is incredible. I'm sorry. I just realized that.
Kind of thing that would take this to the next level and would make it hit just that much harder on a rewatch. I'm really scared to rewatch this someday, as I'm not sure, knowing where it goes, if it would hit the same. I know this drifts into
it's not going to hit the same, and I think you know that. And I think that most people should understand after watching a movie one time, if a rewatch will grant anything. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule. There are scenarios where you just wouldn't know how refreshing a rewatch might be. I think we've gone over how Synecdoche, New York has a lot in there that you are almost, we're talking about a Philip Seymour Hoffman movie. I'm done talking. I'm becoming an old man because the bar has fallen so far. At least I'm not so fruity that I'm beating myself up about the reality of these things not measuring up. Too funny. There we go.
Based horror trend I was praising this for avoiding earlier, but come on. There's a world where deeper character development can exist without
Enver said something very funny. It's how the generation before us must have felt. But if I can say something even more poignant, I believe the generation following us will feel the same way. And just like I'm right now, they may be right too. And I'm also not saying maybe the generation that came before was wrong. So, that's how I feel.
Diving too deep into that cliche. At the end of the day, though, this pretty much knocks it out of the park at what it wants to do, and I had a total fucking blast with it. I can't remember the last time I was this genuinely entertained by a horror movie. It hit real nice. I also got a real kick out of the guy a few seats away from me who was so scared at one scene that he was flutter kicking in his seat. That's how you know you're doing something right. And you know what?
Tell us what scene it is. Tell us what scene it is so we can know that you're bullshitting, dude.
Shit, I'm pretty sure that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Go watch Weapons, inform
Very rarely nowadays does a horror film come out that
like how up your ass you think you gotta be to say that you watched a horror movie, thank you very much, Dia, and somebody was flutter kicking in their seat at a scene and then not tell us what scene it is. You don't think that matters? You fucking liar. Thank you very much, Dia. You might have gone crazy sitting in here listening to some of this bullshit, dude. Because it would just be the same question that you had over and over. We talk about this movie? You talk about this movie?
Just listing everything off.
Holy God. So, guys, I've kept you for 3.5 hours talking about a movie that lasted 2. I have to release you. I love you to death. Gotta go make some money tomorrow. And hopefully I'll be back and just love you and be fine. For God's sake. This was a roller coaster. I'm
Can I get a kiss?
Anil says, can I get a kiss? I guess we're paying $5 for kisses. I feel like, what's the name of that bitch in Charlie Brown? Is her name Peppermint Patty? I don't think Peppermint Patty was the one selling stuff at the booth. Was that like Lucy or something? Is there a Lucy in Charlie Brown Lucy? It is Lucy. Damn. So yes, here you go. Mwah. To everybody, hers were 5 cents. Mine is $5. I recently made one of these of myself with a bunch of dildos, like I was selling them for a WNBA game. But it's too rich for YouTube, who doesn't like dildos. Jesus. So guys, I love you. I'll get back to you. I'm so sorry, dude. I hope you understand what an insult it is for me to say I bet Jordan Peele might have been more aware of what you can and can't get away with in the way of letting the audience check out. People are glazing this movie. And I knew that when I watched it, my take would be one of the most heterosexual. I don't talk about movies here a lot because I'm not sophisticated. My taste is not complex. I'm not interesting. I regard myself as an everyman, a schlubby fuck, a Joe Schmo, a weirdo, and a normie. But that doesn't make my taste and my preference any less valuable, and I feel like my perspective is not one that is represented, so I wanted to throw this out here for anybody who might be interested in it. And I hope that how thorough that I've tried to be articulating how I feel has been something in the way of beneficial to anybody. But also, it could have just come off up my ass. Who am I? What do I know? I'm not trying to be somebody that knows anything. I'm just trying to give you how I feel. And, you know, I loved Hereditary. I was entertained by Bloodlines. What's the name of... Was it Bloodlines, the Final Destination movie?
Yeah.
I think those movies knew what they were more than this movie knew what it was. I think this movie was a little confused, disjointed. It threw some balls in the air it had no intention of catching. And then by the end of it, we were just happy for it to be over. It's not like the length or any of these individual things were the problem. It's that they all came together to form a problem that knocked the score lower and lower and lower and lower and lower with a concept or premise, as they've been calling it, that was so stellar that maybe it was too good. And you guys would have had true difficulty bringing this across the finish line. Thank you, Dia. You and I might have wanted to see the parents go hardcore, right? Somebody going hardcore. Make her question shit. Should I be moving out this town? These parents getting crazy. You know? It's a scene at her house where it's like, damn, you don't have a gun because she runs outside with pepper spray. You know, she doesn't have cameras at her house. She's looking through the peephole. She's parking on the other side of the street from her house.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, everybody, I love you. Oh, she blessed you, Dia. Sorry.
No, they blessed me.
Yeah, bless you, Dia. That's what I'm saying. Anil says, Kyle, if I give you an image of my Sona, can you add it to that with me saying I'll take them all? Can you add it to what? If I give you an image of my Sona, can you add it to that with me saying I'll take them all? I'll try, but add it to what?
Yeah, what image?
Doesn't even sound hard. It sounds like something that AI isn't even necessary for. Just throw like a speech bubble on there. Oh, for the sales booth thing. Yeah, sure. I'll take them all. I'll take all of what? The dicks. Oh my god.
The dildo booth.
The dildo booth. I'll take them all. And then he says, I won't need a carrying bag.
I got my own.
I can fit them all. Gross. Anyway, guys, I love you. My ass of holding. Alright, sorry. Stupid. So,
real Christian for a second.
my ass of holding? Oh, look at this. Jock flip. J-lock flip.
The movie was good, especially towards the ending. The only problem I had was that cop being an idiot going in that house.
But there was a lot of idiot stuff that the plot was like forcing this and like listen.
And okay, you say your thing,
No, straight up. There were a lot of moments where it's like, why is this happening? And then the script's answer is like, oh, because it's a kid, because they're drunk, because, because the plot needs to push forward to the point where, like I'm saying, by the end of the movie, we're just like, all right, man, whatever. Go ahead. The movie was good, especially towards the ending. The movie was fine. I'm not saying it was bad at all. The movie was fine.
It was
the very end, like the last 10 minutes, is what made it truly. And I can't say made it. I'm going to say the last 10 minutes were entertaining. And I think at the end of the day, the only scenes that I loved, Dia, correct me if I'm wrong, were Wong at the gas station, the very end of the movie.
Yep.
What else am I loving? Name another thing that I cared about.
Oh, the cop punching that guy.
The cop punching the kid worked. I wouldn't say I loved the scene. I'd say that it worked. And I remember feeling like, wow, it's hilarious that it's almost like we're relating more to this guy who asked you a very specific question. You said no. He lied. And now you're reaping that. Fuck you. You know what I mean? Fuck you, kid. It works. The scene works.
I think, unfortunately, when it comes to horror movies, the trope is that everybody in a horror movie is a fucking idiot that seems to willingly, walk themselves onto death. Because they're stupid. And unfortunately, we have learned through these past 5 years is that, no, people, you think you may be dumb, but there are people, 10 times dumber than you in the world. And those are the people that horror movies would 100%, that shit would happen to them because they would actively choose the wrong choices. And that's what that guy, the first guy, whose title for his shit was What? Talking about this movie, was constantly the question of what are you doing? What is wrong with you? He said that everybody in this movie sucked and they all made the wrong choice. That's what pushed the plot forward. And I think unfortunately that is a lot of horror movies, is that you have to have people
Barbarian was one of
actively
my favorite
make
movies.
really dumb decisions in order for the plot and the horror to actually work. And
Not if your script is good.
of course not, but you can ask that about a lot of horror movies. Why would you do that? I understand that you may have thought that was the right choice. It was the worst choice you could have made. Holy shit! Why would you do that though? You still want to know the answer as to why they made the wrong decision, even if they thought it was the right one.
I love this response. The kids section absolutely broke my heart. The young actor sells his isolated despair. You know what I always say in the direction of less is more? You can get so much done by just having people not talking.
Yeah.
Because we fill in some shit.
And that's most of the kid portion, is him not talking, just looking very distraught, very stressed out.
It's not just that. It's his interaction with the outside world, and specifically this bitch running up on him in the other scenarios, going, you can talk to me. If there's anything wrong, you can talk to me. And it's like, no, bitch, I can't. I can't talk to you. That's it. And that's more relatable, I think, to some of us than others. So I want to apply it like it works for everybody. This is just a quiet kid in the movie dealing with some shit. It's sad because he can't reach out. Otherwise, his people will come to even more harm than they ended up coming to. And the sadness at the end of the movie is that he doesn't even resolve it. They stay fucking vegetables forever. Hilarious. The first time that he had to go buy food by himself, you see his lips quiver in the way when you're trying to hold back tears despite how much you want to cry. Right. I'll take your word. I don't remember that. It's kids buying fucking tomato soup to go feed the husks zombies at his house. My audience was very lively, and they were constantly laughing or going, oh no, and gasping. And I think that definitely enhanced my experience when seeing this film. You think drugs are good again? I doubt it. No. What's wrong with these motherfuckers? They out in the movie, they're losing their mind over this stuff.
Remember, this guy went to the movie theater, and none of them were reacting.
To me, and they never came back part of the premise was referencing the kids never being themselves again. Yeah, we could give them that bone as well.
Read the next one.
my theater was packed that night, and they vibed. They laughed at every moment we were supposed to.
Like the good little bitches you are.
We were supposed to. How do you know? Was there there's like a light that comes on?
Yeah, laugh.
Studio laugh. You almost wonder if like the future is going to be paid people in the theater. It's not unreasonable. It's not unreasonable.
Yep.
Paying some influencers to sit in the theater all day and watch the same movie and have the right reaction. They're the new actors, huh, Dia? Shit. Y'all need to give me a bunch of money so I can go buy some freaking, I almost said like soda or something. Because that's what I'm used to making me happy. Isn't that tragic?
And other things need to make you happy now.
Did this make me unhappy? And like the me going through this on stream is like catharsis?
Mm-hmm.
Is catharsis a word?
Mm-hmm.
Catharsis. Why am I forgetting things? Did this movie do this to me? The process of releasing and thereby providing relief from strong or repressed emotions. What was that? Like I was gonna kill a man after the movie? You know what I'm saying? Just bottling. You know what I mean? Like the movie's over and it's like, no. They said it was good. They said people were screaming for minutes in the movie. Yeah. For real? Oh, yeah. I believe that.
They're dumbest shit ever, dude.
People must have money tied up in this, in saying this movie go hard. Shut up, pretty dude. Oppressed by a movie. It's true. It's true. This thing was like, how? And it'll happen to you, bro. It'll happen to you. Maybe it won't be a movie. Maybe it won't be a video game or a song or a TV show. But one day, you're going to clock somebody is telling the truth about loving dog shit. And you're going to be like, damn world, where do I fit? You know, some of us have this realization when we're super young. And it's not our world. It's a world we have to really get the hang of this pretend thing we're doing. You know what that does to the young person? It makes a sociopath. What fucking choice do we have? Everybody's a little sociopathic when they're younger, but for God's sake, you would imagine only the pretty people are kind of getting away with... Mama.
The guy that made this movie is gonna make Residue evil.
No, he's making Residue evil.
Yep. And he said it's gonna be dark and weird.
Nah, here's what I remember him saying. Let me get into my replies. This ought to be funny. Replies. No, it wasn't a reply. It was me retweeting it. Here it is. Zach Kreger says his Resident Evil movie exists outside the original characters because fans already have those stories in the games. I'm not gonna tell Leon's story. We're calling it Resident Evil. No relation.
Same name, no relation.
Yeah, give me money. I'll turn this into a movie review channel right now because this is so funny. It's funny because of everything surrounding it. The movie wasn't funny. The movie wasn't entertaining, dude. Parts of it were entertaining. Two scenes. I have a lot more fingers than that. Can you fill up one hand of scenes that are good? That are entertaining? Or is it just two scenes in what you're calling a horror comedy? Because it would be too cruel to call it a horror movie and then glaze it, right? That would be insane. But if you call it a horror comedy, can you name another horror comedy? Ooh, boy. Well, people saw this movie and made a lot of money. So.
Oh. That really shitty movie that you had us watch.
I had us watch a shitty movie?
Yeah, where it was a horror comedy, and that was the one where the one guy dies, and then the other guy tries to like get his friend back, and the dog saves the day at the end of the movie.
It wasn't my fault. I think I had been suggested that movie, and it sucked. I don't know what the name of that movie is where the dog saves the day at the end. Do you think we can ask the internet? What's the name of that movie where the guy's friend dies and the dog saves the day at the end? No.
I had told you what it was, but I completely forgot.
What's the name of that movie where the guy uses the drugs to like see time and then the dog saves the day at the end? Wrong. How do we... Oh, man. But you're saying a friend dies.
He kind of dies, yeah.
Kind of dies. John dies at the end.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it took me forever to find out what the name of the movie was. Thank you. Because I know that it...
Couldn't I remember?
That it had dies at the end was part of the title. I just don't remember the name of the guy.
What's my favorite horror movie? The Thing counts, right, Dia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Thing.
It's
The Thing.
and body horror.
The Thing is a 1982 movie. Think about that. Think about that. The Thing is a 1982 movie. The lighting, dude. The lighting in that movie, like I just tilted my glasses up to like put my hands on my face. I don't even know what to say. That movie's a masterclass. And when I listen to some behind the scenes shit and learn about how one of the guys working on the movie doing some of the effects collapsed, he was spending himself on the movie. Yeah. He was spending himself on that movie. Everybody does. But on to collapse, my nigga. And it shows. And it shows in the movie. Did Kubrick torture fucking these actors on The Shining? Because it shows in the movie. I'm sorry. So I'm gonna get out of your hair, and I thank you for indulging me on this like long-winded, childish kind of exploration of how I felt about a dumb movie that came out that everybody loved. And it's sad that I will be honest in saying that what whipped me like a good boy up into the frenzy of needing to give a shit was everybody going, "This is the greatest, this is the greatest," and me needing to step on top like a real Simpsons comic book guy and go, "No, it is not. Most mediocre movie ever." You know what I mean? It turned down to 40. I don't know why my mic went down this low. I must have been yelling at the microphone, and I apologize for that. So, guys, Pretty Dude says a lot of times when I see people talking shit online, I think to myself, how do they get any work done? Bro, I don't think people get work done. I barely get work done with my fucking libido. Pisses me off. Pisses me off. So guys, I do love you. I will get out of your hair. I do thank you for being here. And I hope to see you in the future. You was hating too much, that's why it was lowered? I was hating too much, bro. I respect however you feel about the movie. I'm sorry you give so much of a shit about how I feel, but at the end of the day, it's not going to make a difference. You know what I mean? Allow me to feel how I feel the same way I tolerate and will forget how you feel, because, bro, this movie was okay. And you know what Kyle always says? Time will tell, dude. I think one of the most important things I said earlier today, while I was like live tweeting while going through this movie, is when I ended it, I said, such a long way for a hilarious payoff. A long way. I felt the length of the movie. I think this is something that you'll hear and understand reflected over time. Okay? Not itching to ever rewatch. This is scathing criticism of any fucking movie. You got to think about kids and how they be watching shit that they like over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, and they don't feel it. When we were kids, there were probably horror movies that we would just love to watch over and over and over and over and over. And here's my favorite scene. Let's go back to it. What did I do? I walked out of this movie with 2 scenes that I liked. The answer, nigga, is no. And I stand by that. And you're free to disagree. I want you to disagree. Different strokes is what it takes to make the world go round. But I firmly stand by how I feel. I see you saying you were joking, but I do want to make this clear for anybody who feels the same way, maybe lurking and doesn't say it. You know, we all feel certain ways, and a lot of people don't act on it, but in the same way that I think a lot of people found my channel because they resonated with what I was saying. Even if they weren't going to get online and say it themselves, they weren't going to type it themselves, maybe they haven't found anybody else that says it that way. I'm not saying this to get likes or clout or some shit. I'm here to put how I feel out there, because in case somebody else feels the same way, bitch, you ain't alone. And time will tell. I love you. I can't get enough. Anil says, you know what? I'd love a fantasy horror movie like an adventure party going into a dungeon or something and getting absolutely destroyed by monsters. It'd be so easy to film these days because kids are kind of like operating under the belief that they're invincible, you know? And that they belong everywhere. So you get a bunch of influencer kids and you just send them somewhere where they're up shit creek the second that they stepped over the threshold. And you can set this in a million different places. A cave where they go in and they don't know that they can't get back out. You know, somewhere where maybe there's poisoning there, whether it's something they're inhaling or even radioactivity. You can set it in an asylum and get super spooky with it. You know, some guys died here and they're going nuts. What happened?
They did that, remember? The YouTubers, the Korean YouTubers? That is that.
I know.
It wasn't well executed, but there is a movie like that. It just sucks.
And then I want something that's following people. You know what I'm talking about? Something that's like generational and people know about it, but they repress it and they lie to themselves.
Yeah, that's it.
Wasn't that a part of Freddy Krueger?
Kind of.
I like that shit, Dia.
But darling, the whole
Yes,
town knew
I
it,
like
but
that shit. And you know what the fucking problem is? Maybe we need to go back to making shit based on a book made from a crazy man. That's gonna make kid, scenes where they getting into motherfucker.
Look, the thing that makes us so mad is that there are 2 authors where their work could probably never work in
Modern anything?
No, in adaptation. It only works in books. H.P. Lovecraft, Junji Ito.
You know damn well it's about how it's adapted.
Yes, and unfortunately, I don't think there is a way to adapt it.
Not without AI.
Less about AI, more so about being able to establish everything.
Don't you agree that AI is the way, when executed properly, to
yes, visuals, but we're talking about not just visuals, the whole package.
Well, when I look at movies now, they're not bringing more than, visuals or art to the table.
That's the shit that pisses me off because, remember there was Color Out of Space, which was H.P. Lovecraft, inspired or from a short story, and it was okay at best.
Like and Drago, they keep trying to do Junji Ito anime and it doesn't work. The budget was somehow fumbled. Who knows what was going on? You talking to the wrong guy too, because
it was from Adult Swim side, I believe. It wasn't from the animators. I think it was Adult Swim.
I'm not saying I don't care whose fault it was. I'm not dude, it's not this. So let me try Uzumaki. Got a message to Donald Mustard. Here we go. What do you think the problem is, huh? What do you think the problem is here? You know what I'm saying?
Two things.
Come on now.
Money. Time.
Holy shit, man.
They rushed it as fuck. They rushed it. And that's funny thinking about the fact that it took, what, like 6 years for this shit to finally come out?
This was episode 2, dear. You remember that?
Yeah.
This was episode 2. This was episode 2, player. Everything they make these days feels like this. Y'all talking about One Piece on Netflix, bitch? Are you kidding? That shit shouldn't exist. Well, people give it the time of day because they'll gobble up any fucking slop that gets shoveled onto their... Oh my god. And I know it sounds like I'm having a... No, bro. There's so much like Velma by Mindy Kaling getting made these days, and people are consuming it because they grew up on Steven Universe, brother. They grew up on homosexual, queer-coded characters made by people trying to self-insert and literally convert kids with their groomer asses. And they got away with it, brother. So, this is the end of this stream. I love you, okay? I love you, but we live in a fucked world that I feel like some of us are listen to me. All of you listening to me. One day, when AI gets where it needs to get, and it's available to all of us, and you see some of these videos going around where people are making babies say all kind of crazy shit, and you know they're making racist memes where like a black lady is stealing a car and crashing into shit and raising hell and all kind of shit. Dude, we are gonna need to make a short little thing, a quick little video game, however dumb it seems, but just not compromise the vision, the fun, the entertainment value here, and really inspire some people to make some other shit. Because this stuff that I'm watching, it is fine. It is serviceable. It does work. It is functional. It gets the job done. It is a hoopty. It is the, you guys should buy me a kind of $3,000, $5,000 get around mobile, because that's what this feels like. Everything don't need to be a Lamborghini, you know what I'm saying, bro? But this isn't even like a car made in the last 15 years, you know what I'm saying? This is like a hand-me-down. This is like a third generation. Stop it. I can't wait to work on the bestiary for my D&D world. That'll be fun. I love making monsters. Well, Neil, if only we could all just do what we love and the money will come, huh? I love you guys. And I'll talk to you soon. Gonna get out of your hair. Go ahead and watch my video that recently came out. YouTube is unsubscribing the shit out of you guys. Who knows what you did? I blame all of you. You know? Go leave big, super donation comments. I didn't even know that was a thing until somebody did it recently. Keep forgetting. I love you. I thank those of you who are in here just being wild tonight and kind. And I will catch you soon. Dia, thank you for tolerating all of this. Special thanks again to Firing the House. I didn't see that. DJ Jimmy LaRue.
Fire in the House?
Oh my god. I wanted to say free run so hard.
I don't know why you would want to do that.
Fire in the House, but there was no spaces.
Mm-hmm.
And then good, whatever. DJ LaRue, Adair Soto, Twinkie, J-Lock Flip, and Daniil. Again, I thank you all, and I will catch you guys soon. Stay out of trouble. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. Cassern is one of my favorite movies. Did you know that? Like the live-action Cassern?
Did you say thanks to J-Lock Flip?
Yeah, I did say thanks to J-Lock Flip. Alright, so take it easy. Have a wonderful night. Catch you guys soon. We'll go back and game or something, unless you're looking for more of this. Later! Take it easy, take it easy.